I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning.
Welcome to it. Yeah, that was in sync.
In sync.
We clearly
Very
we are
much in sync.
aligned. We share one mind and one heart and one spirit, and hopefully you are feeling the same. It is a brand new week. Hopefully we can motivate you to go out there and crush it. Welcome from our side, Graham Richards.
Jamie Domberg, like Mr. G-Man said, it's a Monday morning and you've started your week off at the right place here on your
Definitely.
Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now we announce the winners of Miss and Mrs. Township Plus. We're also announcing the winner of a brand new Galaxy Flip 3 5G. I know everyone's been hyping it up the entire weekend and you guys are going to be glued to your screens for the next 3 hours.
As soon as we finish the show on Friday, I phone my cell phone provider. I'm like, it's not time for an upgrade. It's not that time for an upgrade because I think I
Not
need
yet?
a fold in my life. I need the fold. The Flip is also unbelievable, and I have a feeling that the person who wins it this morning, your life is going to change. It is absolutely amazing. So welcome to you, welcome to the rest of our amazing crew, and welcome to the rest of our amazing on-air family. One young man is looking very sprightly and ready to crush the week ahead. Good morning, Ryle.
You beautiful souls. Yes, welcome to Monday. And I think I also need an upgrade, by the way, guys. Just add me to the list, please, please. But something that also is going to change your life, and I think it's changed a lot of people's lives. The minute it's touched their mouths, it's bacon. Yes, it's all about the bacon today. And we're asking you about one of your favorite foods. For many of you, how do you prepare it? How do you eat it? How do you feed yourself with the good stuff? And of course, you want to come through on our social media channels today. We've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got it all. We're even streaming live on YouTube to the rest of the world. So come through, let us know how you consume bacon. For me, I like it crispy. I want the fat to be as crispy as ever, and I want to hear that the minute I bite into it. That's me, though. That's Nature Boy. Let us know how you love it as well. And we'll continue with the rest of the show. The magic is continuing. It's Gospel Monday, too. We've got so much to celebrate. But let's start off by finding out what's happening first up in the news with Jamie Lee Domberg.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nature Boy. Starting with your national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says a task team has been set up to investigate what caused the public perception that police were incapable of protecting them during the July riots in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Ramaphosa was speaking at the annual SAPS, or SAPS National Commemoration Day, paying respects to 34 men and women who lost their lives in the line of duty between April last year and March this year. The ceremony was held as 3 more police officers were laid to rest after being slain for their service pistols. And then former President Jacob Zuma has been placed on medical parole. The Department of Correctional Service says the decision to grant him medical parole was informed by a medical report it had received. Zuma's serving a 15-month jail sentence for contempt of court after ignoring a constitutional court order to appear before the State Capture Commission. He was admitted to a hospital soon after his incarceration on the 8th of July. Looking to news further abroad, the Nigerian military says some 6,000 Boko Haram members, including commanders, fighters and their families, have surrendered to the authorities in the last couple of weeks. Cameroon also announced the surrender of hundreds of Boko Haram militants in the country recently. In Nigeria, the mass surrender of the members of the militant group is a result of the intense military offensive in the northeast of the country. The death of Boko Haram leader Abu Bakr Shekau in May could also be another reason. And then staying with the international news, Britain will not recognize the Taliban as the new government in Kabul, but must deal with the new realities in Afghanistan and does not wish to see its social and economic fabric broken, Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab has said. Speaking during a visit to Pakistan, Raab said it would not have been possible to evacuate some 15,000 people from Kabul without the cooperation of the Taliban. He added that the Taliban had made a series of undertakings and they now need to test them to see if they need to translate into deeds. And then finally, South Africa's tennis sensation has a secret weapon. He loves coffee, says his long hair is his strength, banters with Roger Federer in Afrikaans, and is gunning for the #1 tennis spot in the world. South Africa's Lloyd Harris, who is 24 years old, progressed to a Grand Slam round of 16 for the first time in his career yesterday morning, SA time, in the US Open tennis tournament. Now, after his victory, quote, he said, "I had a double shot flat white before I came out here, and it seemed to give me enough." Born and bred Cape Townian, Harris is coached by Anthony Harris, no relation, in Cape Town, and when abroad, former top 20 Belgian player Xavier Malisse hones his talents. Harris next takes on American Riley Opelka for a place in the quarterfinals. Let's hope a double shot flat white will again be his secret weapon. On that note, that is where I leave your 6 o'clock news headlines. I will be back on the top of the hour. Here's G with a first look at the sports.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Well, with the US Open bagged, let's get into the Paralympics. And of course, an opportunity to take stock with a spectacular closing ceremony wrapping up this weekend. South Africa walking away with a total of 7 medals. That was 4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronzes, and breaking 3 world records in the process as the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics concluded this weekend. Teen sensation Ntando Mahlangu, he claimed his 2nd Paralympic gold medal in the T61 200-meter sprint event. Absolutely sublime, winning in a time of 23.59 seconds. Then fellow South African Luzanne Coetzee also picked up a 2nd medal, winning bronze in the T12 marathon, along with her guide runner Klaus Kempen. Then on to cricket, the Proteas were back on track. They recorded an 87-run Duckworth-Lewis Stern victory over Sri Lanka in the 2nd one-day international match at the R. Peramdasa Stadium in Colombo on Saturday. A sensational 121-run stand by man of the match Yaneman Malan, helping the Proteas to 283 for 6 in the match that had been reduced to 47 overs because of rain. Then Tobias Shamsi, who was also a shoo-in for that man of the match performance, he picked up 5 wickets as the hosts were ultimately bowled out for 197 in just 36.4 overs. South Africa have now levelled the series 1 apiece with that 3rd and final ODI taking place at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Then on the women's side of the draw, the Proteas women suffered a 5-wicket defeat at the hands of the West Indies women in their 3rd and final WT20 international match at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. South Africa posting a 80 for 9 in their 20 overs after a very below-par batting performance, certainly by their recent form, and the Windies reaching that target in just 11.5 overs to secure the win, and then, of course, level the series ahead of the ODI series that kicks off tomorrow as well. And on to football. National football, in fact, as we on the international break. Bafana head coach Hugo Broos, he said there were many positives from his team's 0-0 draw against our neighbour Zimbabwe in their opening 2022 FIFA World Cup Group C qualifier in Harare on Friday. South Africa picking up just 1 point in a match where they had definitely the better scoring opportunities than their opponents. Bafana will be back in Group G action when they take on Ghana in a home fixture. That's at the FNB Stadium. Kickoff for that one is at 6 p.m. Then they are at it again. The Bulls and the Sharks will face off in yet another Currie Cup final. That was after seeing off their respective fierce competition in the semis this past weekend. At Kings Park on Saturday, the Sharks, they recorded a hard-fought 28-24 victory over the Griquas. And then on Friday, defending champions, the Bulls, they looked every part. The defending champions thrashing Western Province 48-31 at Loftus Versfeld. The fixture between the Bulls and the Sharks will be a repeat, of course, of 2020's Currie Cup final. That match is scheduled to take place in Pretoria this coming Saturday, kicking off at 5 p.m. I've seen Jeremy Harris has sauntered into studio. We'll get into all of our weekend sporting action and do a bit of a Paralympic wrap in just a moment, so stick around for that.
Thank you so much, G. Now, to take a look at our weather first up this morning, and a yellow level 2 warning for interior winds over the eastern parts of the Northern Cape and the western parts of the Free State and Northwest Province has been issued, as well as the fire danger warnings for these parts and the northwestern interior of the Eastern Cape. Now, this is in the wake of vast raging wildfires in Ventersburg, Virginia, and some parts of the Wynberg and Bloemfontein districts that gutted 41 farms and destroyed more than 25,000 hectares of agricultural land since Friday. Now, authorities say the fires have been extinguished, but windy conditions are still threatening re-ignitions. Now, a spokesperson for the Department of Tourism and Economic Development, Khotso Tao, says it's tourism month and they believe they can reignite and revive tourism to ensure that travelers and visitors alike receive the best the Free State can offer in the form of its open skies, tranquility, nature, heritage, as well as leisure and adventure. Now, our thoughts are definitely with all the citizens that have been affected by these fires, and we urge all to remain vigilant, as well as to report any breakthrough fires during this time to your nearest fire department. Now, as many of our regular viewers know, we absolutely love interacting with you on our various social media platforms, and a big part of our weather segment has become the sunrise photos we feature daily. Now, to start off our Monday morning, we are sharing this awesome photo that Gail Montgomery Koppage shared on behalf of her grandson Nick, who lives in Wrocław, Poland. Now, back on our shores though, Joey Peterson from Umhlanga captured yet another stunning sunrise overlooking the Indian Ocean. This is the perfect way for me to start my day. I can't thank you enough, and to everybody near and far that takes the time to share their sunrise photos with us, we say thank you. We love seeing how you start your day. Now, for the rest up of the weather report and taking a look at the rest of the country, we're starting off in Polokwane, where there's a low of 12 and a high of 28 to start your day. Mbombela, you're starting off in a low of 15 and a high of 30 degrees. Pretoria, you're reaching a maximum of 29 degrees today, starting on 15. Johannesburg, very similar, with a high of 26 degrees, starting off at 13. Mahikeng, you'll start your day on 10 degrees, moving up to 28 with 25% chance of rain. Klerksdorp, very similar, starting off on 9 and moving all the way to 29 degrees. Kimberley, no rain expected, with a chilly 4 degree start, moving up to 23 degrees. Bloemfontein, very similar, a chilly 4 degree start, moving all the way up to 24 degrees Celsius. Richards Bay, you can expect a potential chance of rain, 62% coming through, with a maximum of 22 degrees to end off your day. Pietermaritzburg, you're starting on a low of 11 and a high of 17, with 71% chance of rain coming through. And Durban, very similar, with 72% chance of rain, a low of 15, reaching a high of 20. Mthatha, very similar, a low of 8 and a high of 13, with 77% chance of rain coming through. And East London, very similar, with a high percentage of rain, with a low of 11 degrees and a high of 15 for your day. Cradock, you're starting with a low of 5 and a high of 13, and Becha, a low of 10 and a high of 16, with 25% chance of rain coming through. George, you'll start off with a chilly 6 degrees, moving all the way up to only 14, and Cape Town, a chilly 8 to start your morning off, and not moving too high, all the way up to only 14 degrees for the day, with 25% chance of rain coming through. Worcester, not as rainy, but a little bit chilly to start your day, 1 degrees, moving up to 14, but Sutherland definitely takes the cake. The chilliest of the morning, -1 degrees, moving up to only 10 degrees Celsius for the day. And last but not least, we've got Uppington coming in with a start of a 5 degree low, moving up to 21 degrees Celsius for the day. Now, that's a first look at our weather. Once again, thank you all for sending in those pictures. Keep it coming, because we absolutely love starting on Monday. And speaking of Monday, it seems like something's a little bit juicy down in the rest of the studio. Let's find out what's happening.
Maynard's, it's a juicy kaboom!
Is that good?
Oh yes, it is back. Maynard's, home of the hashtag Juicy Kaboom. They are at it again, refreshing your week with a competition where you could stand the chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash prizes. We are smiling from ear to ear. And now that we have your attention, I'm sure you're sitting up right now. Join us as we play the first hashtag Juicy Kaboom game live with Maynard's this Friday. Now, this is your chance to play live on air to win big cash prizes.
Well, here's the thing, okay? You're lucky. because I just happen to be an expert at this game. I don't know why, for some freakish reason, I was able to pretty much score every time I threw. So pick me. I promise you, I will not let you down. So this is how it all works. With the main odds fruity game and jellies that burst with flavor in your mouth, we are taking the dull out of your day with a juicy kaboom burst of flavor by showing you how exactly the game is going to work, and it's really simple. So first of all, you guys, the selected viewer, will be live on air, no pressure, and we'll hopefully connect with you via video. You'll select a presenter to play the Man of hashtag
boys get him as well.
game into your... No, you got skills, you got that hand-eye. So then you select one of us, and then we'll go to battle for you.
Yeah, and then the viewer will obviously tell the presenter, which will be either me or G or whatever, which bucket they should aim for in order to win a prize. That simple.
The presenter then takes turns throwing the ball into the bucket in order to secure that cash prize, something really generous for the viewer, obviously you guys, to win at home.
Yeah, and the presenter keeps on throwing the ball until they land it in a bucket, which will be easy for some of us.
And then once that ball does find its way into its home, the bucket, the viewer then wins a prize, or a booby trap is determined and announced depending on which bucket the ball lands in, and that we have no choice over. It's all our studio team here.
Yeah, now here's where it gets interesting. Now, the viewer stands a chance to win one of the following cash prizes, either 500 Rand, either 1,500 Rand, 3,000 Rand, or a Maynard's hamper. I mean, you'll win it either or.
Yeah, 3 grand. Come on, that'll be a nice way to round off the week. If the presenter lands the ball in the booby trap bucket without a monetary value, sadly, you guys obviously don't get the cash, but you will still get yourself a Maynard's hamper jam-packed. But the presenter will have to do it quick and do a forfeit, which I'm now a little bit nervous about.
Yeah, apparently there's like chopsticks. We're going to do like one-arm push-ups, whatever the control team decides.
For you, I will do it. For you, we will do it. One lucky viewer then obviously has a chance of playing the Maynard's hashtag Juicy Kaboom game live on air this coming Friday, and you stand the chance of winning up to 3,000 Rand in cash, as we've said. So to enter, go to the Expresso Facebook or our Twitter page and then comment simply on the Maynard's competition post by telling us which Maynard's sweets are your favorite. Tough one. Got to be the jelly beans for me. And don't forget to include that hashtag Juicy Kaboom.
Who knows? Who knows? We could be calling you this Friday to play and win cash prizes. Now, remember, those T's and C's can be found on our website, expressoshow.com, and the competition runs until Friday, the 10th of September, 2021. Happy entering.
Avoid the compulsion to stick my hand in and eat these jelly beans. You don't
It's a booby
understand.
trap.
Don't do it. It's a booby trap. It is. But good luck.
Maynard's, it's a juicy kaboom!
Only you can make my day.
ultimate accessory, the latest shiny thing. Mesmerized. Trying to keep up, but never getting ahead in an endless cycle of spending. In this world of constant upgrades, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. If you're still chewing on the gristle that was the weekend sporting action, let's help you swallow that, digest it, because we're going to dive into all of our weekend sport right now with a man who consumes more sport than any other on the planet. The Proteas, of course, claiming a 67-run victory over Sri Lanka in Colombo to level the three-match series, and they did it in style. Sadly, the Proteas women are suffering a 5-wicket spanking at the hands of the West Indies in their third and final T20 international in Antigua. Sports anchor and good mate Jeremy Harris joins us in studio to talk all things sport. And we'll get into the Paralympics and I think a great outing from South Africa's perspective. Yep. But let's talk about the cricket this weekend. Without our talismanic young captain, and I'll hopefully get an update on how long he's going to be out, but Keshav Maharaj stepped in brilliantly. The game management was fantastic. So let's talk about that. Rain-reduced match. Did that help us? Did that hurt us? Obviously, we got off to a cracking start with Yanuman Milan.
Yeah, I mean, look, first, Yanuman Milan, you're a good thing. Really good batting. I saw most of his innings, and he certainly looked in control. He's a very aggressive batsman, as I think we know, but just pure class.
It comes
off in a big way, yeah. So
what were you doing when you weren't watching the cricket, man? What kind of...
I was watching the Paralympics, of course. What are you talking about?
I know. One has to develop almost a schizophrenic sporting mind.
Need a TV that's sort of split into 4 or 6.
And, you know, when we talk about the balance, that's what you need. You need a front runner to put his hand up. As you said, he's aggressive. It can open the way to a few risky shots here and there, but when it comes off beautifully, and it did.
Yeah, they had no answer to him, which was great because he certainly gave us the platform that we needed. And I thought that Keshav Maharaj quickly settled in. Obviously part of the leadership group, so no real big difficulty for him to adjust to that role. But it's different. Tembo's got a different style. He's got a different style. But experienced skippers they are both. And it came off for us in a nice big way. Yeah,
it came off with a victory. Let's take a moment to revel in that winning moment itself.
Shouts of catch it, and Aiden Markram will oblige. 5 wickets for Tabrez Shamsi, a career best for him. Top catch in the deep, top work all round.
I mean, he had just been dropped about 10 minutes before then, so I think he needed that one. He needed that 5-wicket haul. Absolutely brilliant. They must have really battled to choose a man of the match in there because Shamsi, although I think his shoe didn't have any signal or something because he didn't make one call with it, but he was superb. He's had, looking at the form that he's carried through the T20s, where he's definitely one of the best in the world, yeah. It was bound to happen at some point that he was going to carry that into the ODI arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he comes in with that kind of reputation. If you're able to see him off, he's never too pricey.
Yeah.
If you're able to see him off, good and well. But, you know, one day he'll come away with a 5-wicketer. Just very quickly, also, straight after that match, he was tweeting Team SA at the Paralympics to say how proud he was of them for picking up their 7 medals. So a really nice gesture from the spinner.
Yeah, we need it, man. It's part of our sporting psyche. We need the Proteas, we need the Boks to be doing well, and it kind of filters through absolutely everything. So the series is now drawn, 1 apiece, and you kind of feel, looking at the performance, the Proteas carrying a bit of momentum into that third one. We've got this, surely?
I think so. I think that, you know, we had a bit of a hiccup.
A wake-up call.
Wake-up call, exactly. We're back to action, lads, and now back to business.
So Proteas picking up that win, 67 runs by the Duckworth Lewis method over Sri Lanka. We look forward to the third and final kicking off tomorrow. Let's move over to the ladies. An absolute collapse. We've been gushing over the balance in their bowling and their batting. Unfortunately, the batting just was non-existent.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's a blip. That's exactly as I see it. I think that their form and their consistent form at that suggests that this is just one of those, you know, matches where it just didn't work for them. It was something that didn't click. They've been doing so well, both you know, in the West, in the West Indies and in previous matches.
You were about to go to Tokyo, eh?
I was about to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Both in the West Indies, but also just individually as players. Of course, some of them been involved in the 100, and the form is undeniable. I think this was just one of those games where it just didn't work for them.
Just want to say thank you for the 100. Just in general, how it's played so many players into form is absolutely amazing. The T20s, we know it can turn on a dime. Mama told me there'd be days like this that you're gonna have the crash and burn. It's an unforgiving format. Most importantly, now we move into an ODI space. And I've got to believe that the Proteas ladies are knocking on the door of the top 3. They've got to, at some point, cement themselves as one of the best teams. Is now their time? Is this tour the opportunity to prove to the rest of the world that they should be up there?
I think, yes, I think so. I think that a lot of the players have already put their hand up internationally, and there's a lot of respect and appreciation for the form that these players bring. Again, you referenced the 100, and I think that you see how many South Africans were involved in the final of that competition and just really shone throughout that tournament. Gives you some sort of indication of how much they've advanced over the last few years.
As long as they're getting paid, yo. As long as they're getting paid, we love it, man. The more live sport we can consume, the better. And of course, yes, he's going to miss Tokyo. Yes, he's really struggled over the last few weeks to keep it focused, but there's a reason why, because Team South Africa at the Paralympics have just shone. So we'll get into their performances in just a moment.
Well, it is another successful weekend out on the field and results that make a nation proud. Now it's into the kitchen for a proudly South African potjie.
Made with love by Clover.
It's a new week, a new month. September is Heritage Month in Mzansi, a time when we get to celebrate our diverse local as lekker cultures. Now, besides sports, food plays such a big role for any South African, and there's nothing better than, we know it, a braai. And this past Saturday marked International Bacon Day, and we decided to celebrate by making our Clover fresh milk chicken and bacon potjie. Jenny Morris is here to take us through it. We asked this question on social media this morning: how do you like your bacon? Are you like a crispy girl, into a potjie? What's your vibe?
I look like a girl that likes anything that's not crisp and crunchy. I like it crispy and crunchy. Absolutely. But you know, sometimes when you're cooking with it, it doesn't get as crispy as you want. And something like this beautiful potjie it's going to release its saltiness, its smokiness, and that lovely little bit of speck into the oil. So I
must have a beautiful rind of like fat in there, that when you do put it in a potjie or anything, you just have that crunchiness and yeah, my mouth is watering.
It's like on a pork chop.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Yeah. So what I've got here is I've got my onions, they're nice and golden, and I'm just slowly going to just release some more of that fat out of the
bacon.
The bacon, and then I'm going to just pop my chicken on top of this. You know, potjie, as you know, should not be touched once you start layering everything.
This is why I like a potjie, because that's how the ladies can just maybe make the rice and we just sit there while everyone sits around the fire. No one has to do anything.
That's wishful thinking. The ladies just make the rice. Boys just bluff us. This is a load of nonsense where you think girls get away with doing nothing because they want a beverage, so they send you to the kitchen because they've forgotten. And then, of course, they never bring the tongs to the... You know who they are, right?
Yeah. That is why I'm single. That is exactly why I'm single.
And then they set fire to everything, and then they tell you to bring some water. But you know what? Potjie is delicious. You don't really need a fire. You might live in a flat, and you don't have access, you know, to doing braai during Heritage Month. So this is a lovely recipe.
You just need the potjie itself.
You need a nice pot, and it's long, slow cooking, and then don't disturb it once you do it. Now, this is gorgeous paprika. It's lovely. It gives it colour. And what you're going to do, Jamie, you're going to chop those in half for me, my darling.
There we go.
As we speak. And then we're going to make some, you know, with clover milk. It just makes every dish perfect. Especially this blue bottle, because it lasts forever in your fridge and it doesn't go off, and it's lovely fresh milk. And you'll notice that the Italians do a lot of cooking in milk. There's a pork dish that they cook in milk, and it's beautiful, and it cooks long and slow. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Now look at this. Can you smell these beautiful
I
flavors?
can smell all of that
Are
flavor. I
starting to
smell
come
that
off the pot.
that garlic and everything. But I wanted to say, you know, the milk also just adds a nice creamy velvet texture to it.
It's gorgeous.
So it's going to be paired beautifully with the chicken.
Exactly.
With your protein. Of course, we have the bacon as well. So that's going to be beautiful. I would also, if you wanted to, use chicken breast. If you had chicken breast, because then it's nice and fine.
Yes.
But I mean, the thighs works perfectly as well.
Thighs are beautiful. You know what I like about the thighs? It's got the bone in. And by keeping the bone in, it just adds that wonderful dimension of flavor. It gives a lot of depth. A lot of people don't like thigh meat. They don't like the brown meat. I love brown meat.
I always go for the brown meat.
Me
But I'm
too.
like, when I stand in line, when you have to dish up at a brown, I'm like,
exactly.
please keep the thigh for me, please.
Yes,
please keep the
absolutely.
thigh.
I'm going to just grab that from you, my love, and just
Perfect.
pop these in. These are lovely brown mushrooms. So I'm now layering my pot. You can smell all the deliciousness that you could add right at the end if you wanted to, you know, when you lift the lid.
What is it that you mixed?
Okay, this is some brown onion soup. You could use any soup. Mushroom soup would
Ooh,
also
I was
be
thinking-
beautiful with this. And just have, oh, look at this. I mean, can you smell
I can
that?
smell it.
Heavenly?
I can hear it.
And I like a lot of sauce. So I'm taking some more clover milk and I'm going to just keep adding.
Go for
A
it.
little
Go for
bit.
it.
Look at that. That is looking beautiful.
The
And
color.
literally, we just put the cover on it. They say just put the lid on it. All this beautiful
Can
green.
I ask you a question? Why did you wait till the end to put your green peppers in?
Because you know what? I don't want them to cook down to nothing.
Okay.
And then these are going to just go over the top. And I'm going to literally close my lid and forget about it.
No
and put it
prate.
on very, very, very low. And as I say, you can put the green stuff in right at the end. But the potatoes need to cook, and you want that all that lovely sort of flavour
Beautiful
of the meat
colours.
to leach out. I'm going to open it just one more time, okay? Because I just have to peer into. Look at this. Just look at how the milk is mixed with
and
it.
just look at that color
with the
as
soup.
well.
It's beautiful. It's
That is
vibrant and divine.
absolutely stunning. A potjie close to my heart, chicken and bacon potjie. And of course, I know you're going to feed me.
Yes.
Because that's what she does when she comes here. I'm not going to be left hungry.
Yes, so what I'm going to do is, because I want to share with you, would you mind
Yes.
if I just gave you a little bit in the bowl?
Certainly.
And I have the rest.
Thank you.
I'm being a naughty mommy here.
You are being a naughty mommy, but I can't wait to try
But
that.
just look at, I want you to just see how lovely and succulent. Just look how succulent that is.
And
I'm going to give you some rice, Jamie, because the
I
rice
was
has
gonna
sucked up the gravy.
You could either have it with rice or a nice little roll. Pop. Oh, definitely. Okay.
So I'm going to give you that. There's just a little bit of sauce on there. Just look at that deliciousness.
Well,
This is
I tuck
clean.
into this. You, of course, know expressoshow.com is where you can find your hands on this recipe. This is our chicken and bacon potjie made with love.
And clover.
Clover.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue to delve into all of the weekend sporting action. Some of it pretty high stakes, some of it not so much. Sports anchor Jeremy Harris, who is going to be chatting through Bafana's match against Zimbabwe. Some positives to take out of that in their 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Then, of course, some really exciting Currie Cup semi-finals. The Bulls and the Sharks have once again booked their spots in the final of a Premier domestic rugby competition, one of the oldest in the world. In fact, Jeremy has got all of the details. Let's start with Bafana's performance against our neighbours Zimbabwe. Hugo Broos said there were some positives. What are those positives?
Look, I mean, I think that we were unlucky not to score. There was certainly we had most of the possession, and certainly the play getting us into the various scoring positions was encouraging, very creative, and just I think there's a couple of new players, bit of new personnel in there, just trying to get that understanding, alongside some of their teammates. But I mean, some really good attacking football played. Just not able to get it across the goal line is the only problem.
Yeah, a tale as old as time, and I suppose one of the positives, we've got point. We kind of set sail now, we're on our way and we didn't lose.
Yes.
But, obviously new coach, as you say, new system of play. The game management, pretty good. They did have their opportunities, but that one
I don't think they were ever going to lose the game. There was a better chance that they were going to win it. I mean, put it to you that way.
Up against Ghana tonight, how much more of a step up is that going to be?
Look, home soil, I think even if it's got 0 fans and just the 2 benches on the park, I think already will be in Bafana's favour. They'll breathe a little bit easier. They're on home soil. And I think that if they played like they did against Zimbabwe with maybe just a sort of a 10% improvement, well, then we should see the points. We should see the goals. Yeah, exactly.
That game kicking off later today at the F&B Stadium. Let's move over to 2 thrilling Currie Cup semi-finals for slightly different reasons. Let's start with the first Friday night, a dominant first half performance, or a dominant performance in every area of the game, let's be honest, from the defending champions, the Bulls. Absolutely superb. 48-31. That scoreline kind of showed a greater dominance. Province were in the fight. They showed some great attacking potential. Edwin van der Merwe getting his hat-trick. I think there were signs, and this is what broke my heart, is that there were signs that they were up for this.
Yeah.
But the Bulls just too strong in that initial kind of half of the game. But they were great in every single facet, from defence to set piece to attack. Even the little pop passes were coming off. They were brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I think a dominant season is probably the way we would describe the Bulls this last few months, and they deserve that place in the final. You're not the best performing team on the points table and then don't get through to the final. That'll be a travesty of justice. But they deserve that place, and they were really good on Friday night. And as you say, in fact, I think at some point they took their foot off the accelerator, and Province snuck in with a couple of late tries. And full credit to Province. I think that there's been a lot of disruption, not too many experienced players, lots of young blood coming through.
COVID through it all.
Yeah, exactly.
It really has been a rocky ride.
So I mean, to get to the semi-finals, against the Bulls, and 48-31 isn't exactly a spanking, but it's still a well-deserved win there for the Bulls.
Yeah, they missed Evan Roos. They missed a couple of those key players.
He would have been sitting on the couch going, why?
Come on. The bigger ball carriers to release those really quick backs that we know they've got. The Bulls, I think they've proven. We were worried maybe that this timing of form coming into the knockouts is always vitally important, but they proved that every facet, as I said, is well locked down. We look forward to a mountain to climb for the Sharks in that final. Let's talk about the Sharks and Griquas. Maybe a good thing that the Sharks were pushed by the Griquas. The Griquas didn't look like that Mickey Mouse kind of franchise side that we might have seen 4 or 5 years ago that would dominate in the opening rounds when none of the big players were playing in the Currie Cup, and then gradually as they reintroduced the Springboks, then the Pumas and the Griquas would fall away. Not this season. The Griquas have been superb, and they could have won this game.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be that I told you so guy, but I mean, I told you so. These guys came at the start, that before the first game kicked off, that this is what we would see from the Griquas, and this is exactly what they gave right the way throughout the season. And you're right, it could have been, and we wouldn't have described it as an upset win. We would have just described it as a win if they'd come away with it.
Kieran from Fearon crossing for 2 maul tries, proving the strength of the set piece for the Sharks. they're going to need every single one of those elements to be firing if they stand a chance of beating the Bulls. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, all due respect to the Sharks, Bulls going to that game as out-and-out favourites. It is certainly going to be played on their terms, I think. I think that they will come with the way that the game is going to be played, and the Sharks are going to have to almost reinvent themselves come Saturday for that final.
Yep, but they certainly can do it. The Sharks beating the Griquas 28-24 in a crunch moment there. And we look forward to the final kicking off 5 o'clock on Saturday. Just very quickly, Team South Africa at the Paralympics, a small team, but they gave us value for money, man. They performed brilliantly.
Yeah, tears in the eye stuff. I mean, it's amazing. So good. I mean, there's a couple of heroes we've also uncovered. I saw a pic I was telling you about with Ntando Mashlangu standing next to a host of youngsters, also with their blades on, and they're just looking at him with so much love and adoration. And that's what Team SA have delivered for us, you know, come the end of the Paralympics. 7 medals, sure, 4 golds, well done.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've delivered the next batch of heroes for our youngsters to look up to.
Yeah, and there were a couple of stalwarts like the likes of Ernst van Dijk. You think about it. He said he's not... He might come back for a 9th. That's got to be a record. I think there might be only one other athlete that's ever achieved that kind of feat. But as you say, the fact that there were young athletes coming through the mix, they're painting a bright future for Paralympic sports in this country. Buddy, thank you so much for developing sporting schizophrenia over the last few weeks and soaking it all up. Thankfully, we only have to wait 3 years for another Olympics, if you think about it, because this one happened late. So don't worry, don't stress. But you, of course, can let us know. If you're a super fan out there, we love inviting you guys to join Jeremy on this couch. As long as you're not a Chelsea or an Arsenal fan, you are welcome to join us. And you can let us know who you are loving and supporting and which teams you support, hitting us up on the Expresso Morning Show Facebook page.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
Simple as CBD should be.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Just in time, you're here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. It's time for some motivational Monday music from Dr. Wilhelm Lichtenberg. Now, he's a father, a husband, cardiothoracic surgeon, and also an opera singer. Now, he's joining us in studio to perform a hymn titled Indikokele Bawo. Let's take a sneak peek before we get chatting to him.
Oh,
We can all relate. A beautiful, beautiful energy behind that. And a very warm welcome to a man who I guess is here to just humble us all with an incredible range of talents this morning. Good Dr. Very good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
A beautiful visual kind of journey that we were treated today. But Doc, I've got to ask, a heart surgeon with a beautiful voice, so it's true you can do it. Which comes first? Which came first? And how do you balance that out? How does a surgeon, a heart surgeon, become an opera singer?
Well, first of all, I think you're flattering me by calling me an opera singer. I'm not really an opera singer. I wanted to be one. That was my childhood dream.
Really?
But my father was very influential in my life, and he was a very wise man. He said to me, I think you should rather study medicine and sing in your spare time than do it the other way around, because that won't work.
But you have a plan B. I love that.
But I like how that you put both worlds together in this. Obviously, we see with the visuals that you had there, what we as the world's going through the pandemic, and then also being a heart surgeon and singing, you know, you just brought these worlds together. What was the experience like, you know, working in the forefront of this entire pandemic as well?
Again, I think it would be unfair of me to say I'm working in the forefront. I do work with COVID patients because I try and help where I can, but COVID's not a surgical disease. I operate it away. The people at the forefront really are actually the nurses.
Really?
Physicians and other doctors who treat these patients as well, but I'm not going to be so arrogant as to say that I'm in the front line. I'm not.
Well, I think, I mean, adding to that, I think every hospital has felt it, and I think, you know, there's been massive pressure on the entire system as a whole, and you've obviously had a front row seat to see this narrative playing out. I think we often live in denial because we don't get to see that every day. We don't understand the pressure that our ICUs are under because of this. What was your motivation to encapsulate this beautiful, emotional message, this way of honoring what has been sacrificed over this time?
Actually, it came about quite by chance. There's a long that Ndiko Kelebao was supposed to be the second song in a series that we are recording, because we've launched an initiative called Young Hearts Africa, which I started with some friends in an effort to raise funds for heart surgery for indigent children. Brilliant. In South Africa, because hundreds of thousands of children on the African continent die of heart disease every year because they can't get these life-saving operations. And this was going to be the second song in the series. The first one, so we've done it the wrong way around. We're actually launching the first song on Friday, which is something we're very excited about. We did a rearrangement of a Queen song called Who Wants to Live Forever.
Oh, brilliant.
With the Soweto Gospel Choir. And I took a chance. I wrote to the man who wrote the song and asked him whether he'd recorded with us, and he said yes.
Oh my
so we're launching that on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Forward to that as well. Obviously, we've heard this song before, but you've given your own twist to these songs as well, and then having it being performed with Tygerberg, a children's choir. What is that experience like?
Look, I've just been incredibly fortunate because I use singing as a lightning conductor, just to de-stress and just enjoy my love of music, but to be able to perform with artists of the caliber of Nombulelo, who sings this with me, and the Tygerberg Children's Choir, which is now for several years running been the #1 children's choir in the world, is just, it's almost unbelievable. I just pinch myself every now and then.
It sounds like I understand that your wife contracted COVID and was actually hospitalized, that you've needed the opportunity to decompress and have this emotional platform. How important is that for you personally going through this process? How amazing has it been to scratch that itch and perform like this? Has it had you thinking that maybe you made the wrong choice?
No, definitely not. No, I'm first and foremost, I'm a surgeon and a doctor. It's what I do and it's what I love doing.
Calling, yeah.
So but when somebody jokes and says, well, when are you going to switch careers? I'm definitely not going to do that. I always said, I don't think I'm particularly good at either of these, so I'm just hedging my bets.
Lives are being saved and lives are being improved, and we absolutely love that. Thank you so much for, I think, putting in the effort to create something like this. I think so many of us are just needing that little tipping point, that emotional tipping point to feel better about life again. So many of us have drifted into a very pessimistic space over the last year and a half, and something like this is just so uplifting. So thank you. But don't switch careers just yet, because more lives, I have a feeling, are there to be saved with the good doctor is going to be sticking around, bringing us 2 performances alongside the exquisite Tigerberg Children's Choir.
We're definitely looking forward to that. And we are also celebrating International Bacon Day, as you see on the show and in the kitchen this morning. And nothing shows off the savory versatility of bacon more than a scrumptious quiche. Now today, we're making a flavorful savory delight with our favorite Jenny Morris in the building.
Well,
how you doing, Jenny?
Well, I don't know.
I thought, you know, after our last kitchen, I promised, and as we discussed, we get closer to the half-naked chef, and here we are.
Well, look at you. Yeah, you are.
I'm here to serve on a Monday, brighten up everybody's day, I hope, and you are here to do the exact same with this recipe, right? Because who doesn't like bacon?
Well, darling, I should be bringing my dark glasses.
Follow my eyes.
So here, you're probably wondering, what are these dry beans doing
and what is it sitting in as well? Because that already looks like half a bit of a pie.
This is a pastry, so we don't want to have a soggy bottom on our
No one wants a soggy bottom,
Nobody
Jenny.
likes a soggy bottom. So we bake blind, and by doing that, we just put a little bit of baking paper. You get baking beads. I just use beans, and you can reuse them, so we waste not, want not.
Yes.
And definitely bacon is going to be heroed in this dish.
Of course.
So over here, I'm going to add, and darling, you're going to whisk.
All right.
That's my boy.
What is this? Cream cheese?
This is cream cheese.
All right.
Delicious,
And whisking it with?
cheese.
No, I mean, just whisking the cream cheese as is. Oh, we're putting cheese in it.
Yes, beautiful cheese in it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and if that, you can use that to make life easier.
Let's see how this goes. I've
Come
never done this before.
Come closer to me. You have to keep your social distance, but not too far, okay?
Push the limit.
Don't push the limit. And then just get that mixed in beautifully.
It's okay.
And
I've never done this before. Mixing cheese, cream cheese, and egg.
Well, it's going to make it so rich. It's going to make it rich. Normally, you would have like a cream or a nice milky base.
Yeah.
Well, hello, look at that. I mean, look at that. I'm being very naughty. But I can. A little bit of salt. I'm not going to put too much salt in here. The reason being the Parmesan cheese has got salt, the olives are a little bit salty, and so does your feta have quite a bit of salt, okay? Yeah. But a bit of pepper. I'm not afraid of pepper. So one of the tips my mom taught me growing up was always have a nice hot baking tray. Because it also helps when you put this down onto it. It also stops the bottom from being soggy.
Okay, of course. I mean, no one soggy bottoms.
We don't want soggy bottom, baby. All right, so I would like you to put your whisk down.
How's that look, by the way? Pretty good?
It looks gorgeous.
Nailed it.
Yes, this is good. I want you to hold this, and I'm going to guide you. Pour it from the center.
Show me how it's done.
Go on, darling.
All right,
there
nice
you go.
And slow?
Yes, please. This is very, very good. Look at that and make sure all that gorgeous cheesiness is in it.
All right, I see what's going to happen now.
It's going to be divine.
Yeah.
We're going to like Parmesan the top. The sky's the limit, you know what, when it comes to...
When it comes to bacon and cheese, can there be enough cheese? Can there be enough bacon?
Never enough, darling. Never, never, never. And I'm going to put the olives. As I was saying, it's nice and salty.
Yeah.
And then this just nice big... Look at this.
Got like,
big,
what, 3
big
cheeses
chunks.
now already, right?
Gorgeous, absolutely.
Oh,
It's
nice.
very decadent. And pass me the little bacon.
The hero ingredients of the day.
Yeah, the hero
or one of the
day,
heroes.
Indeed, absolutely.
Because I see we're obviously using our olive pride, which is going in here too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to anoint the piece that I've made for you.
Anointing, okay.
I'm going to anoint it for you.
You set this Monday off.
There we go. You can have that piece.
Well,
it's nice and clean. And then maybe you want to put a couple of cherry tomatoes, or you can even do some slices of tomatoes, really, really good. So what I've done with this one is I have actually got some beautiful fresh basil, because basil, tomatoes, and bacon love to be in each other's company.
And that looks so good too. It's almost like what I'd imagine a really good pizza topping to look like, but it's got more meat, more depth.
Absolutely.
More all of the good stuff.
Look at that. How hungry are you?
Well, after chowing a little bit of that bacon, I'm in for...
Are you in for it?
My fasting is no longer a thing anymore. You know, Ginny, I normally do intermittent fasting, right?
Yes, you
So often I am tempted by you kryptonite chefs that make these delicious foods, especially when I have to taste
I
them.
don't like the plural that you just used now.
Oh, because there's only one. Yes. Let me take that back. There is only one. But when it comes to your course, I can't resist. I'll give up intermittent fasting even for this because, I mean, come on, it's International Bacon Day.
So, get your fork ready.
That fork
And
is
your
ready.
knife. Oh, look at this. This is. Can you hear that crunch? You see, this is why it's so important to.
While you're busy there,
bake
Jenny, let
line.
me just chat to the people of Azanza and talk to them about some of the incredible stuff that's going into this recipe. Now, Be Well canola is a part of it. It's an olive oil blend. The unique benefits of Be Well canola oil combined with the taste of carefully selected extra virgin olive oils to produce a quality oil with a beautifully olive taste profile. Now, it's made exclusively using locally sourced GMO-free canola oil, which is going to be anointed right here, right now, as you can see.
And a little bit of basil.
Very nice. All right, so are we ready? Can I tuck in?
Darling, you hit the ground running.
That. Jenny Morris in the building. Let me take a TV bite. Expresso.com, of course, if you want this recipe inspiration. It's bacon day. Cheers to you. And that's a definite box ticked. Oh, yes, it's crunchy, it's juicy, it's cheesy, it's everything I wanted. Jenny Morris, thank you very much.
Fingers love my taste.
Wow.
You can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's time. It's time to make someone's day, week, year, decade. If you entered the Samsung competition on Friday to win the beautiful Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, then this is the moment you are waiting for.
Are you nervous? Are you excited? I
I'm
don't know.
nervous. This is amazing, man. It's a really valuable prize, obviously, and we got to review it, and it looks like the most amazing device as well. We quizzed our tech guru, Grant Hines, on the brand new foldable devices from Samsung, and then we asked you guys to guess how many answers he would get right, and of course you had to back him because he knows his stuff, and of course he passed with full marks, flying colours, scored 7 out of 7. So if you guessed that he would get all 7 right, your name then went into a lucky hat and might just be announced in a second.
Ooh, the excitement is so real. So please, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? Our first congratulations goes to Lindsay Toby! Yes, that's how you do it on a Monday. You are the official winner of a brand new Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, and you're one of the first people in the country to get one. We don't even have one, G.
Yeah, man, it's on waiting list, man. People be chomping at the bit. So if you also want to get one of these and want to be one of the first people in the country to do so, to get your hands on the brand new Galaxy Flip 3 5G or the Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G, both amazing devices. You can pre-order them right now and reserve your device on Samsung.com, and in the process qualify for some amazing accessories as well, valued up to 5,200 Rand. It's worth it. Get online now. Go and check it out. But a massive, massive congratulations once again to Lindsay. Well done.
Yes.
The time now just 7 o'clock. Time to have another look at what's happening in and around the world, starting with your national news. The Independent Electoral Commission, the IEC, is expected to make an announcement today about the program for the forthcoming local government elections after meeting this weekend. Last month, the IEC applied to have the elections postponed after an inquiry recommended a delay because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But its ruling on Friday, the Constitutional Court ordered that the local government elections have to take place between the 27th of October and the 1st of November, and that there had to be a voter registration weekend. Staying with your local news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says a task team has been set up to investigate what caused the public perception that police were incapable of protecting them during the July riots in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Ramaphosa was speaking at the annual SAPS National Commemoration Day, paying respects to 34 men and women who lost their lives in the line of duty between April last year and March this year. The ceremony was held as 3 more police officers were laid to rest after being slain for their service pistols. And then on the international front, cleanup crews and the U.S. Coast Guard are trying to locate the source of an oil spill spotted in the Gulf of Mexico after deadly Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana last week, leaving some 1 million people without power. Recent satellite pictures show the slick about 3 kilometers off Port Fortune, Louisiana. It appears to be coming from a source underwater at an offshore drilling site. A team of private divers are working closely with the U.S. Coast Guard to identify the source and also coordinate a successful response. The Nigerian military says some 6,000 Boko Haram members, including commanders, fighters and their families, have surrendered to the authorities in the last couple of weeks. Cameroon also announced the surrender of hundreds of Boko Haram militants in the country recently. In Nigeria, the mass surrender of the members of the militant group is a result of the intense military offensive in the northeast of the country. The death of Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau in May could be another reason. And then finally, the Paralympics have ended, and there were some touching moments that were involved. Now, visually impaired runner Kula Semedo and her guide Manuel de Vega produced one of the most touching moments of the Tokyo Paralympics that ended this past weekend with a beautiful post-race proposal. Cape Verde Semedo had failed to qualify for the women's 200 meters T11 semi-finals on Thursday, but her disappointment was soon forgotten when de Vega took a knee at the finish line and asked her to marry him. She agreed, and all her opponents and their guides clapped and cheered in pure elation. However, theirs wasn't the first in Tokyo. Moments after Argentine fencer Maria Perez Morris was eliminated, her coach of 17 years surprised her. Lucas Saucedo held up a sign behind Perez Morris on camera during her post-match interview with the wording, "Will you marry me, please?" It was the second time he proposed to her, having been rebuffed in 2010. This time around, though, she said yes. On that note, that is where I wrap your 7 o'clock news headlines. I will be back on the top of the hour. Here's G with another look at the sports headlines.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Well, no one got married in the South African team. South Africa did walk away with a total of 7 medals, 4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze, breaking 3 world records in the process of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics concluded this weekend. Teen sensation Ntando Mahlangu, he claimed his 2nd Paralympic gold medal in the T61 200-meter sprint, winning in a time of 23.59 seconds. Then fellow South African Luzanne Coetzee, she also picked up a 2nd medal, winning bronze in the T12 marathon with guide runner Klaus Kempen. On to cricket, the Proteas recorded an impressive 67-run Duckworth-Lewis Stern victory over Sri Lanka in their second one-day international match at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo on Saturday. A sensational 121 from man of the match Yanaman Milan, helping the Proteas post 283 for 6 in a match that had been reduced to 47 overs per side thanks to the rain. Tobias Shamsi, also a shoo-in for that man of the match, picked up 5 wickets as the hosts were bowled out for 197 in just 36.4 overs. That means South Africa have now levelled the series 1 apiece with that third and final ODI taking place at 11 a.m. tomorrow. On the women's side of the draw, not the best outing. The Proteas women suffered a 5-wicket defeat at the hands of the West Indies women. That was in their third and final WT20 international match at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. South Africa posting just 80 for 9 in their 20 overs after a below-par batting performance, a collapse in fact. The Windies reaching their target in just 11.5 overs to secure the win and then level the series ahead of the ODI series, and that kicks off tomorrow. Then on to football, still on the international window. Bafana head coach Hugo Broos, he said there were a number of positives from his team's 0-0 draw against Zimbabwe in their opening 2022 FIFA World Cup Group G qualifier in Harare on Friday. South Africa picking up 1 point in a match where they had definitely the better of the scoring opportunities and possession than their opponents. Bafana will be back in Group G action later today when they face Ghana in a home fixture. That one's at the FNB Stadium, kicking off at 6 p.m. Then on to rugby. They're at it again. The Bulls and the Sharks will face off in yet another Currie Cup final. That was after seeing off their respective fierce competition in the semis this weekend. So at Kings Park on Saturday, the Sharks recording a hard-fought 28-24 victory over the Griquas. And then on Friday, the defending champions looked every part the champions. In fact, the Bulls thrashed Western Province 48-31 at Loftus Versfeld. The fixture between the Bulls and the Sharks will be a repeat, of course, of the 2020 Currie Cup final. The match is scheduled to take place in Pretoria this Saturday, kicking off at 5 p.m. Okay, we'll touch on those headlines again in an hour or so. Right now, let's give you a global weather perspective and see what the temperatures have in store here in South Africa.
Thank you so much, G. Now, to start off our weather report, we're going all the way overseas to the US, where President Joe Biden has visited Louisiana to get a first-hand look at the destruction wrought by Hurricane Ida. Now, the monster storm that devastated the southern portion of the state and left some 1 million people without power. Now, Hurricane Ida, the 5th most powerful hurricane to hit the US, struck the Gulf Coast and carved a northern path through the eastern United States, culminating on Wednesday in torrential rains and widespread flooding in New York, New Jersey, and surrounding areas. Now, there were 9 deaths which were reported in Louisiana and at least another 46 in the northeast. And officials who flew over the storm damage reported astounding scenes of small towns turned into piles of matchsticks and massive vessels hurled about by the wind. Now, Biden approved on an emergency declaration in New Jersey and New York and ordered federal assistance to supplement state and local response efforts. Now, bringing it back to South African shores, we of course have some more sunrise photos to showcase. And we're starting off in Uitenhage or Uitenhage, where Ivina Barons-Kariga shared this stunning collage of photos showing off a double rainbow that fell over the area. Now, did you know this? A double rainbow occurs when refracted light does not escape the raindrop after being reflected the first time. Yeah, this is absolutely rare and so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm moving on to our regular contributor, Louise G. Cherry, is upping her photography game indeed, with this photo she took from the Vaal Dam, capturing an absolutely stunning morning reflecting the dam's water. We thank you so much for this. You're really making our Monday something magic. And of course, we're moving over to the rest of our weather report in the country, starting off with Polokwane, a low of 12 and a high of 28 to end your day. Mbombela is starting off on a low of 15, moving up to 30 degrees Celsius. Pretoria, you can expect a low of 15, moving up to a nice warm 29 degrees for the day. Johannesburg, you've got a maximum of 29, starting off at 13 degrees. Mahikeng, a low of 10 and a high of 28 with 25% chance of rain coming through. Klerksdorp, you've got a high of 29 today, starting at 9 degrees Celsius. Kimberley, a chilly 4 degree start to your day, moving up to 23 degrees. Now, Bloemfontein, very similar with a low of 4 and a high of 24 degrees. Richards Bay, rainy with 62% chance coming through, a low of 16 and a high of 22 degrees. Pietermaritzburg, very similar with a higher percent of chance of rain at 71, a low of 11 and a high of 17 for your day. And Durban, very similar, with a low of 15 and a high of 20. You've got 72% chance of rain coming through. Mthatha, a low of 8 and a high of 13, showing similar conditions when it comes to the rain. And East London to follow suit with 76% chance of rain, a low of 11 and a high of 15. And Cradock, moving over, is starting off with a low of 5 and a high of 13 degrees today, where Gqeberha has similar weather, a low of 10 and a high of 16 with 25% chance of rain. And then George starts off with a low of 6 and a high of 14 degrees for the day. Cape Town, your day will start at 8 degrees, moving up to 14 with a 25% chance of rain. Worcester, your day will start on a chilly 1 degree Celsius, moving up to 14 degrees with not too much rain expected. Sutherland, a chilly -1 to start your day, moving up to only a high of 10 degrees, so a definite chilly one there. And Uppington, slightly warmer with a low of 5 to start your day, moving up to 21, but sun can expect it all around. Now, thank you so much again for those sunrise pictures. We absolutely love it. I know I do too. Now, let's see what else we can love with the rest of the magic coming up in the show.
Yep, we promised you magic and inspiration, and it is on its way. In just a moment, Dr. Wilhelm Nombolelo and the Tygerberg Children's Choir, whose faces are radiant with smiles this morning. They're not feeling nervous at all about performing in front of you. In fact, they are performing just for you in just a moment, and it is going to blow your mind. So stick around. We'll see you in just a moment.
Every time you brew a cup of reviving Origins coffee,
you're restoring land,
empowering farmers, and supporting livelihoods.
so every sip touches hundreds of lives.
And offers an inspiring taste experience in return.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Tissue Oil and Rich Body Care range for 48-hour rich moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Now, the winners have been crowned. We are talking about the Miss and Mrs. Township South Africa that happened this past weekend, an inspirational pageant. Connecting with us right now to tell us all about what looked like the most amazing evening is the founder of the pageant, Koketso Makua, who was also a former top 25 finalist for Mrs. South Africa back in 2019, as well as the winners of Mrs. Township South Africa, Neo Matitwane, Miss Township South Africa, Esther Tsebe, and Miss Township South Africa Teen, Offense Sebopa. First of all, congratulations, ladies. Yay. The crowns, the tiaras are resplendent. You guys look gorgeous. You look like winners. So congratulations from our Expresso family. It sounded like the most amazing evening, so well done to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Koketso, I'll start with you. I mean, it's not just about the crown and the looks and the smiles on these beautiful faces. What do you feel distinguishes this from any other pageants?
Good morning, Graham and Vivian. Thank you so much for having me.
I think what distinguishes the Miss and Mrs. Township South Africa program from any other program is the fact that we are so focused on, authenticity. It's not about how you look on the outside and then on the inside. For us, we actually look at what's on the inside, and we encourage that to radiate. We are a true empowerment that is so focused on our communities. So we are focused and centered around community development, women empowerment, and also youth development.
I love that, and it's living proof of how powerful the pageant can be, looking at the track record and what you've achieved with every young woman and teen that connects with the show. But of course, ultimately, we want the winners to enjoy those celebratory moments, and they got to do that. I'm going to start with you, Offensa, as the teen winner. Offensa, what motivated you to take part in this pageant? Why did you enter?
I entered this pageant. My primary reason for entering this pageant was to boost my self-confidence, but as well I knew that gaining pageants would give me a platform to actually raise awareness and to actually be able to solve issues that are not solved in societies, issues such as cyberbullying, teenage pregnancy, and others.
Preach it. Love that. Yeah.
Offensa, maybe for you, this event celebrates the real women of the townships. How do you feel about it?
I feel so grateful that I am the title holder, the first Miss Teen Township, actually, because the pageant has helped me grow as a person. I'm not the same person that I was when I entered this pageant. You actually grow, you gain experience, and you learn a lot from just entering this pageant.
And you get a beautiful tiara. We love it. And a sash. And you must never, ever, ever take that sash off. I love that. Neo, as our Mrs. Township South Africa, how are you feeling right now about having this platform?
Thank you so much, Graham, and good morning to everyone in South Africa. Thank you for watching. I feel so excited. I am so happy and so honored to be wearing this tiara, to be the title holder of Mrs. Township South Africa.
Love it. And everything is said with such poise, with a smile.
I know,
I can't help but
clearly
smile.
the training has been done. I love the fact that the groundwork in that media side is done to that degree. It's absolutely amazing to me.
Esther, for you, what do you hope to bring with your title of Miss Township South Africa?
Thank you so much. During my reign as Miss Township South Africa 2022, I will be focusing on children's rights, as I feel that they are violated throughout the country. I've been working with several homeless and orphanage shelters wherein children are absorbed by the system just so that they can have a safe home, a healthy meal, and most definitely to be taken care of. So I will continue advocating on children's rights and putting in much effort as I can to possibly help those children who are still, whose rights are still being violated, being physically and emotionally abused. So I will definitely be looking into that and making sure that I make a huge impact, especially in my community here in Rustenburg. Thank you.
Good luck in those efforts. Enjoy your year of reign. I think 3 very deserving, gorgeous, yes, but ultimately women who are empowered to use the platform for good. So very worthy winners there. Koketso, Makua, you must be so proud of the pageant and your winners. Thank you to all of you ladies for joining us this morning, and congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see what they do with this reign. That was Koketso Penny Makua, the founder of the Miss and Mrs. Township South Africa pageant that took place this past weekend, with a focus on youth empowerment. And of course, the winners again, Mrs. Township South Africa Neo Matutoane, Miss Township South Africa Esther Tsebe, and Miss Township South Africa Teen Offensa Sebopa. Congratulations to all of the winners.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
never take the sash off, eh? Never.
Yeah, never.
Please, someone
I'll
give me a
sleep with it.
tiara and a sachet. I will wear it all day. Well, we promised you more inspiration. It's coming in just a moment. Stick around.
Purity, as your partner along your parenting journey, are also partnering with Cotlands to help raise 1 million rand towards early childhood development. For every Purity toiletry product purchased this August and September, Purity will donate 1 rand to Cotlands. Together with Purity, you too can help SA's little ones start their big journey and reach their full potential. Another Purity promise fulfilled.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, Joan Crawford once said this: I think that the most important thing a woman can have next to talent, of course, is her hairdresser, and we can all agree everyone wants great hair. Now, looking your best has a direct impact on how you walk through the world, and stylists hold a key to how you feel. Now, the Style and Colour Trophy is known by hair pros as the most important and longest running competition in the world. The finals took place last weekend, and joining us this morning to announce the top 10 finalists and how they will be judged in the next steps of this competition are the judges themselves. Please can I welcome Brittany Amorum from the Bang Bang Collective and fashion designer Spero Villiotti. Good morning to both of you. All I have to say is I do not want to be you right now, because the pressure to now announce the top 10, it must be so difficult.
Yes, it is quite difficult because I think everybody was extremely talented, and at Villiotti Fashion Institute we have the same problem. We have exceptionally talented people, and then to find one that has done the best work is never easy because each one is such an individual. But I believe the top 10 did an amazing job. I was amazed.
Well, I'm just going to give the viewers a bit of a background. The Style and Colour Trophy competition really allows hairstylists to become recognized as well as inspired amongst the best of the best from over 40 countries. I mean, Brittany, why do you feel this is such an important move, especially for people's careers and for all the hairstylists out there?
I think it's such an incredible opportunity for these stylists to be able to compete with the best of the best internationally. It's also an opportunity to showcase the caliber of stylists that we have in South Africa. And then I think for the stylists, it's an amazing opportunity for them. It's an amazing learning experience for them, especially to be able to compete, under pressure amongst their fellow competitors.
For sure. And of course, the top 10 finalists have been chosen. I mean, without giving away too much, tell us a bit more about them and who they are and what happens next in the next phase of the competition.
These 10 stylists, their work was absolutely phenomenal. Really, really impressed by the results that they achieved, and actually I can't wait to see who wins.
Can't wait to see it ourselves. Of course, Farah, for you, I mean, you have an eye for this. What was the judging criteria for the finalists, and what are you specifically looking for going forward?
First of all, the judging criteria was so that they had a seamless color grade going through the hair, so that it wasn't like the top was a dark color and the bottom was a light color, but it just flowed without being patchy, and so that the hair looks rich, beautiful, and when this woman walks into a room, you would turn and look at her hair and say, wow, her hair looks amazing. So it must look like it's natural. That was amazing, the way that they did that. And the criteria was to create something beautiful.
Suddenly I have this desire and maybe urge to grow out my hair and then just have it fall back and just do all the things that you're saying right now. Maybe tell us a little bit more about what the contestants are competing for.
The contestants are competing for recognition. It's really good. It keeps them on trend. It keeps them alive with what's going on overseas and internationally. And because we are in South Africa, it's really good exposure. And it also forces them to be far more creative.
Well, you've heard it from the judges themselves on how the contestants will be judged, but your vote counts too. Now, that's right. Voting is open to the public for 5 days from Monday, the 13th of September to Friday, the 17th of September. All you need to do is visit styleandcolortrophy.l'orealprofessional.com and pick your favorite. It's that easy.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has arrived. Father, husband, cardiac surgeon, and of course that opera singer is here with the Tigerberg Children's Choir and about to perform their first hymn, and it's something that's absolutely going to lift you up. It's called Ndikokele Bawo. Now take it away and enjoy.
Oh
Wow, absolutely incredible stuff. And Ndiko Kele Bawo, lead me, O Father, and you definitely led my spirit to a place that feels like something so much higher and so much more beautiful. We can't thank you guys enough for that. And don't go anywhere, because you want your spirit to be lifted even higher, then stick around for this.
This is the wrong backtrack. Because I told me I'm just singing the two, so it's You'll Never Walk Alone. This is just a sound check. When
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Now, of course, we've got the doctor still in the studio, and this performance is something that's going to be truly special. Now, it's close to many a Red fan's heart, but the song has so much more meaning, and it's something that will truly lift the spirits this morning. It's Gospel Monday at its finest, and the doctor's here to perform the song, You'll Never Walk Alone. Enjoy.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden cloud and the sweet silver sound of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, and you'll never walk alone. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk At the end of the storm is a golden cloud and the sweet silver sound of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, and you'll never
Doc, I can't tell you enough how much that song means to me as a Liverpool fan. I think for so many, in the toughest of times, the song has given hope to so many, and you literally embodied that. So thank you so much. And I think from Zanzi watching right now, if you are dealing with anything quite tough or struggling right now, then this is something that will lift your spirits. Just remember you have all that beautiful life inside of you, and you can go out and celebrate and have infinite potential with all that you have. Thank you so much once again, Doctor. You've given me shivers, you've given me chills, and you've given us a reason, of course, to celebrate. I think a round of applause is definitely due. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right, guys, the magic will continue. The show, of course, don't go anywhere.
We are back in the kitchen to whip up something that's fruity, delicious, and possibly your new scone inspiration. Look at that. So while we have been warmed up from the inside from that amazing performance, we're now warming up the oven to whip up something incredible. If you're looking for some new scone inspiration, as I said, then try our Clover Fruits of the Forest scone recipe. The perfect treat that can be served with almost anything, like bacon jam. For instance, we are celebrating bacon in its many forms this morning, and this is a great way to enjoy it. Spruce it up with something that is beautiful, of course, made with our Fruits of the Forest dairy snack, which is in itself a meal and beautiful. Jenny Morris, you've got the glove on, which means you're going to get hands-on with this one. I know.
Did you say beautiful?
Beautiful and gorgeous.
Are you doing your good deed for the week?
I am. No, you are the beautiful accompaniment to any meal. Miss Morris, I'm loving what we're doing here. Scones, always nice to spruce up your scone recipe with something different every once in a while, and that's what we're doing today.
Do you know what I love about scones or scones?
Scones.
Is that you can have them sweet or savoury.
For sure.
And this is kind of
a bit of
somewhere
both.
in the middle.
Yeah,
yes.
this is a bit of both.
It's
yeah.
nice. So the sweet, I put some caster sugar in. We've got to have a little bit of salt. We've got some self-raising flour here, and to give a little bit of extra lift. Remind me to talk about lift.
Lift, okay.
To you later.
I'm nervous to ask you about lift.
No, I'm behaving.
Like that. I'm nervous. No, I don't know if I doubt you will behave, Jenny.
Well, I try.
I know you too well.
So what I need you to do here, my sweetheart, is to just give that a good stir to make sure it's well incorporated.
Okay.
And because I'm a lady, I can multitask. I'm going to quickly jump to my bacon, because you know it's bacon, International Bacon
We are
Day.
celebrating bacon. And bacon jam is quite nice, because bacon itself does lend itself to a bit of sweet, eh?
Absolutely. So I'm going to give this a nice little bit of a thingamajiggy here. And now there are a couple of things you can do with your scones. Is you could make an oil-based scone, or you could make a butter-based scone. And I've got the butter in the fridge, and I'll tell you why I want to keep it nice and cold. If you wouldn't mind just having a look.
I will do it.
Because scones like a hot oven, and they don't want the butter to be melted and messed with. Okay. So now we're going to pop that into here. I should be giving you my glove.
Exactly, yeah.
Because this needs to be broken up.
You know
what you can do for me? Just use the fork in the meantime, my darling.
Okay.
While I just get this bacon going here. So I've got the bacon rendering. So we've got that lovely bacon. In fact, you must listen and work.
Okay, so I must just break it down. I feel like I'm going to bend this fork.
Oh, just bend the butter, baby.
Bend the butter, baby.
Bend the butter.
Cool.
So we have onions, we've got bacon, Graham, and we've got some delicious garlic, because garlic's going to give it some lovely depth.
And lots of things that are going to caramelize within that, because we know the bacon caramelizes like nothing else.
Absolutely. Now, with the onion, you don't want it to cook down too much, because you still want to keep a little bit of texture in here, okay? So I'm going to go in with my sugar, because that's where the caramelization magic is about to happen.
Whoa.
And I'm going to just get that to kind of
beautiful.
melt.
Imagine with a bit of cheese. That's
gorgeous.
magic.
Lovely, lovely to keep in the fridge, and it does last, because the sugar's a preservative and so is the balsamic. And in you go, and you want this to now just slowly cook down, caramelize. Be very careful, you know why? Because balsamic
it's going to burn very quickly.
It's going to burn very, very quickly. So now this is where your multitasking skills come in. You're going to keep an eye there for me, and I'm going to come back here.
I've broken most of them.
Yes, thank you. But you know what else you're going to do? You're going to beat the egg and the milk together.
That's going to form our glaze.
Yes. So I'm not going to completely make this, because as TV magic happens, I've already made a dough. But the important thing is butter acts as a barrier when you're making scones or scones, because you don't want that, not like bread where you want to like really work that gluten too much. You don't want to overmix it. So what happens with the butter, you put it into the crumb, like this, and you get the sort of breadcrumby consistency. You could also grate the butter into it, but you don't want it to melt because then you're not going to get a light crumb in your scone. Okay, so we'll finish this later and we'll serve that to the crew. And I have one here. Can you see? I have one here.
It's definitely not too wet.
Beautiful.
It's got quite a nice
and then what
crunchy
I've done is I've used my lovely clover snack. Yes, the fruits of the forest, but you could use any flavour because all the fruity things will work beautifully with bacon.
Yeah, completely.
You know?
But I think the fruits of the forest is delicious, obviously, in its own right. But I think it's going to lend itself beautifully to that sweet, savoury mix. The clover fruits of the forest with cereal dairy snack it's got a beautiful creamy taste, crunchy fruit. It's got oats, it's got granola, it's got sunflower seeds in it as well. So you're even getting some of those good oils. The fruits of the forest dairy snack has a creamier taste with bigger fruit pieces and is filled with nutritional goodness. So this is a great way to sneak a little extra nutrients into a little one's diet if you are like me and struggling to get your kids to eat things. Adding fruits of the forest to this scone gives it obviously a moisture element that I think is going to really add to it.
And some acidity, because you see that helps it to rise. Now, talking about rising, people always say to me, how do I get my scone or scone to be, or you just do that, how do I get it to rise higher? So I like to pack them close together because they start fighting with each other and then they start rising to the occasion.
It becomes a scone competition.
That's it.
See who's going to rise to the top.
And then what I love is when you break them apart, you get that gorgeous reveal. So like that, you don't want to overwork your scone mixture either, because we were talking about gluten. Okay, so we don't want to do that. And
so
also,
you need a bit of restraint with this one. Just don't overdo it.
Yes, don't overmix. Don't, especially, look, I've made one for you.
Oh, yummy.
Don't overmix.
Yummy. My egg wash milk, can I just...
Yes, all over the top, but here's a tip.
Okay.
Don't go down around the sides, because if you do that, it won't allow the scone to expand.
Okay.
So just only on the top, okay?
Okay, I'm just trying to do that.
There you go. All over the top. Make sure it's all over the top. We don't want it dripping down.
Okay.
Beautiful, darling. Look at you. Oh, greedy boy. You've put too much on there, but it's fine. I shall forgive you.
There we go.
Which one would you like?
Oh, my goodness.
Don't go for the big one.
Yeah, no, I'll go for that one. That looks beautiful.
I'm loving you.
Oh, this has come together beautifully.
Tell
that bacon
Mama what
jam.
you think. Is it good or what? Is it good?
Oh, my word.
Fabulous, huh?
And the fruitiness actually really does come through, but it's balance of sweet and salty.
Compliments. We have to make this for the crew. We can't let them down, huh?
That is lovely. The fruits of the forest really does add a completely different element.
Yes.
To that scone or scone, if you will.
Yes.
My goodness, that jam is it's sweet and it's caramelized.
I'd like some
with a little bit
in there.
Oh, completely. But a slice of cheese.
Oh,
Put a slice of cheese on there.
Heaven.
Absolutely delicious. If you want this recipe, you can go to expressoshow.com. You can find all the culinary inspiration, and I have a feeling that our crew is going to eat well this morning. We're going to make another batch of these beauties, but I really do suggest you try this at home. It's a different take on the scone, and it is delicious. I'm going to have another
So
one.
these are made for our boys with lots of Jenny love.
From Clover, just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Please keep us some. Please keep us some. I'm going to take my Tupperware back out now.
Yes, please. Now, of course, we're chatting to our Cape Town-based performing artist. Her name is Tracy Carter. Now, she fell in love with the stage after her first solo performance at the tender age of 4 years old. Now, today, she is an accomplished singer, a songwriter, musical director, and a producer, and she's using her incredible gifts to entertain audiences both far and wide. Now, Tracy firmly believes music is the passion that drives her and is a treasured gift she wants to share with the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Gospel Monday, let us welcome Tracy Carter to the building!
Yeah.
Tracy! Good news.
It's Gospel Monday behave, okay? Tracy?
I can't help it.
Yeah, no.
How are you doing?
Sorry about that.
Good. Really glad to be here. And yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, when I was going through the brief, I was like, Tracy Carter, that name sounds familiar. But I remember you went viral during the national lockdown. You and your daughter did mashups, and then also met you just before the initial lockdown at the Cape Town Carnival.
Yeah.
How's it been just being able to connect and put music out there? But let's start at the beginning. Where did that love and music, the passion for music come? I mean, 4 years old. Many of us were playing with dolls that time. You were singing, girl.
Yeah, I remember it clearly. I was doing a solo performance for our nursery school's play, you know.
Okay.
And it was at the Blomplay Baptist Church. And I went up there and I sang the song In His Time, you know. And it was this room full of people, and I just loved the whole experience. And coming back, my father was in the arts, but he was an actor, but not really anybody musical in my family. And so it was sort of me paving the way and forging this new sort of journey in music, and studied it at school, and, you know, continued to pursue it, and yeah, still doing it today.
It's in the blood, and I think we're all grateful for it, because if you heard anything from this divine woman, then you're going to be definitely pleased. But let's talk about some of the more challenging times, and Jamie mentioned this earlier. The lockdown, for all of us, a massive shift in our productivity, our creativity. What was the experience like for you? Obviously, some awesome things and moments coming out of that, but in a general sense, what was that like?
I mean, I remember the night when, just 2 weeks before that, I did a wonderful show at the Rockwell Theatre, and we just sort of signed a deal with them. They were going to be doing shows there on a monthly basis, and, you know, things were taking off for myself, and I'm sitting on the bed as the president is making his address about the national lockdown and all of this, and it's like I saw all my dates and my gigs and stuff falling off the calendar, and I was like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to survive, you know? Obviously, I'm a full-time musician. This is how I sustain myself. And so, yes, been extremely challenging, but I think also gave the opportunity to pivot and find new ways to express this. And if we're creative people, we've always got to find a way around it. And I think for me, turning to social media and using that as an avenue to still get the message out there, and, you know, and share the gift to the people. Of course, you know, the money isn't really in that, but it's about the passion. And I think that's been wonderful to me, and just getting such wonderful feedback from people about how the music's been helping them, and getting them through the lockdown as well. I think it's been beneficial both ways.
It's definitely a gift. Musicians have a gift to just inspire all of us. Someone who inspired you was your late father, who encouraged you to start writing at the age of 16, which was something you didn't want to get into, but eventually led you to this place. If there's people or artists out there struggling right now saying, you know, how do I start? Where do I start? What words do you have for them?
I think, you know, what it comes down to is, for me, it's being authentically yourself. And I think today, especially within the music industry, there is so much pressure to, you know, to fit a certain mold. And you know, we want to do what's on trend, and we want to do what's now, and we know we're following the big names out there. But the people that sustain themselves in this industry are those that know what their sound is, what their story is, and what their journey is that they're going to share with the world. Because if you're going to copy somebody else, you're never going to find your true voice. And I think that, for me, is what I've always tried to pursue, is know who I am, know what my part is that I've got to play, and share that with the world. Because when you're authentically who you are, people will always receive that, because they find the truth in that. So I think that for me is most important.
Preaching on a Monday, just how we like it. Tracy Carter, I mean, look, we've got so many performances coming through from you this morning. We're all excited about it. What do you think performed the best on the charts? We had a poll that we've obviously put out to the Mzansi. What do you think did the best?
Well, I'm not actually sure. Well, I think a lot of people were really going for the gospel medley mix, because I think they were, you know, those are their songs, you know. I chose songs that I felt people would really resonate to, and songs that have really been speaking to me during the lockdown. So I think that went really well.
Well, let me tell you, though, that I'm Gonna Bless the Lord actually came through at #1. And then the gospel medley was a tight second place there. But I mean, every single performance from you, we can't not want to enjoy it, not want to listen to it. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So thank you so much for coming through this morning. Absolutely appreciate your time, your energy, and everything that you're doing. And we look forward to the performances coming up. Of course, Mzansi, stay tuned indeed. Our singer, Tracy Carter, is going to be joining with the rest of the band and performing 3 inspiring tracks for Gospel Monday in just a few moments.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your feel-good breakfast show. As you can hear, the sound check is going on, setting you in the tone for Gospel Monday. But it's time to talk about style. Now, their style may be as fresh as tomorrow, but they go way back, way back, 1853 to be exact. That's when it all began for Levi Strauss. Now, after partnering with Jacob Davis, he soon changed the fashion industry by inventing what we know today as the blue jean. And boy, have they been innovating ever since. Here to tell us more about the iconic brand is Tanyiko Ndebele, merchandise lead of Levi South Africa. Tanyiko, welcome. I feel like this is a throwback. This is a throwback on a Monday.
How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited to chat about this brand that I absolutely love.
And look, Jamie and I were talking about it, and like nostalgia just came through the minute I thought about it. I was talking about my 501 jeans. I used to cut them and do some crazy things with them. They always would be a part of my wardrobe back in the day with the bomber jacket and everything. But for me, it's a brand that has been a part of my lifestyle. Why for you is it such a respected brand? Why has it been so iconic over all these years?
That's why we're still relevant, because everyone that you speak to always has a Levi's story.
Yeah.
You ask them, you know, when you speak about Levi's, because the first thing, obviously, when you talk denim, Levi's is the first brand that comes to mind. And then everyone says, hold on, I remember the first pair of Levi's jeans that I had. I remember my mom's jeans. I would take a pair of her Levi's and cut them into shorts and things. That's how I knew that I wanted to pursue a career in fashion. She used to hate me for it because, I mean, hello.
Cutting up my jeans?
My coveted jeans, what are you doing? But when I think about it, that's what I love about the brand, that it gives you an opportunity to express your individual style in an authentic way. And that's something that we also try to do when we create new product every season, is just to consistently reinvent ourselves so that we stay relevant to our fans, you know? They ultimately who keep us in business, so we need to make sure that we give them product that they love.
Yeah.
And they've been around for such a long time, but they've always, like I said, innovated themselves. I mean, if you didn't have a Levi growing up, it's almost like you weren't part of the cool kids at all. But let's talk about a match made in heaven, the partnership with Woolworths. Why do you think this is such an important partnership to have Woolworths on board with such an iconic brand?
Woolworths is one of SA's leading retailers, so it's amazing that we were able to collaborate with them. And also when you think about all of the values that Woolworths has, they're closely aligned with ours. We're both committed to responsible business practices, so it's about, you know, how we source our product in an ethical way that has the least amount of impact on the environment, how we treat our staff. So in the plants that actually create the product, the staff at head office, the staff in stores, we believe in just making sure that we create healthy work environments. And then, of course, the responsibility we feel for the environments that we operate within. So, you know, we're not shy to speak about issues that are affecting our environments, you know, whether it's being in support of the LGBTQ community, whether it's just talking about the importance of racial matters. You know, both of us are really concerned with making an impact to, the broader society. And naturally, that's just made it seem like this is a natural fit. There's a great synergy between the two of us. So yeah, we're very excited to get this partnership going.
All right, well, you definitely got me smiling, because when I hear sustainability, and especially when I chat about Woolworths, sustainability is at their core. And the fact that you are doing things so environmentally friendly, you've got Nature Boy's box ticked, and you got me smiling, so I can't thank you enough for that. But let's talk about what we can expect when it comes to the fashion this year. I mean, there's a lot of expression when it comes to Levi's. Throughout the years, how are we going to be able to express ourselves this season?
This season, well, you know how summer is. It's all about light, bright, airy colors. So this season you'll see, as I've got here on the rail, it's a lot of the light washes that are coming through in the denim. We've got a lot of distressed pieces in women's that you'll see coming through. You know, it's a big trend for us. It's almost like the higher the temperatures, the less, the more rips that you're going to find in your denim. And as well as some shorts that will come through from a men's standpoint as well. Across our different fits, you'll also see we start moving away from a lot of the darker washes into the lighter washes, just so that, you know, you can get into that summer feel. From a tops perspective, it's all the brights. There you can see it, some of our t-shirts that have our new modern vintage logo. You'll see that across men's and women's. That'll be available in a variety of colors. And over on top of that, there'll be also great graphics that you see. And so something like what you're wearing now with that box tab.
Oh, I thought you would have noticed. I actually wanted to say, Jamie and myself and G thought, look, let's see what we can do with the Levi's wardrobe. Do you approve?
I do.
I got to say,
we knew you were coming. We knew you were coming.
This is important to me. So, like with every pair of jeans, comfort's important, style, which I think the box has definitely been ticked. But this is the coolest thing. I can do this in these jeans. Full squat, baby. Yeah, all the way
He's
to the ground.
showing off today, everybody. It's like he was showing off for you because he knows that you were here. But yeah, absolutely love it. But you know what I want to correct you with is you said these are for the men. I would totally rock this. Like, this is my vibe. Totally like this oversized shirts with these shorts as well. It's a play for both women and men.
And I love that you brought that up because that's something that we like to push in our brand too. We're not going to pigeonhole you or box you into what you can wear. It's up to you to decide what it is that you want to wear in your range and that resonates with you. I'm actually wearing a men's trucker right now, so it's just that versatility that exists within our brand. And that's what makes us popular and the reason why we're still cool, considered cool to everyone out there.
Definitely, oh, indeed. I'm feeling cool. You look cool, girl.
Love it, love it, love it.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I mean, it's an awesome opportunity to obviously shop the coolest of content, the coolest of looks when it comes to Levi's. You can get it at Woolworths, of course. And you want to look this good, then say no more. Get to it.
To tread lightly. To act with care. To think of the future. To shop more sustainably. Woolworths, the difference.
Thank you so much, team. It has just gone 8 o'clock, so time to delve back into those news and sporting headlines. Let's start here in South Africa, where the South African National Parks, or SAN Parks, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature, the WWF, are working on establishing a high-altitude national park in the mountains of the Eastern Cape that's close to the Lesotho border. The Northern Eastern Cape Grasslands National Park is expected to encompass an area of roughly 30,000 hectares, starting west of Maclear and then stretching along the southernmost reaches of the mountainous Lesotho border. Beautiful part of the world, and it'll include Nodia's Neck Pass, SA's highest lying road at over 2,500 meters above sea level. The park will be located within a working agricultural landscape. Then the Independent Electoral Commission, the IEC, is expected to make an announcement today about the program for the forthcoming local government elections. That's after meeting this weekend. Last month, the IEC applied to have the elections postponed after an inquiry recommended a delay because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But in its ruling on Friday, the Constitutional Court ordered that the local government elections have to take place between the 27th of October and the 1st of November, and that there had to be a voter registration weekend. And casting a wider net on the international front, the Africa Union bloc yesterday condemned a military takeover in Guinea and demanded the immediate liberation of President Alpha Condé. It called on the body's Peace and Security Council to meet urgently to examine the situation and to take appropriate measures. Now, special forces, soldiers apparently ousted the long-serving Condé, saying they had dissolved Guinea's government and constitution and closed its land and air borders. Guinea's elite army unit's head, Mamadi Doumbouya, said poverty and endemic corruption had driven the forces to remove Condé from office. Then cleanup crews and the U.S. Coast Guard are trying to locate the source of an oil spill spotted in the Gulf of Mexico after deadly Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana last week, leaving some 1 million people without power. Now, recent satellite pictures showed the slick about 3 kilometers off Port Fourchon in Louisiana. It appears to be coming from a source underwater at an offshore drilling site. A team of private divers are working closely with the U.S. Coast Guard to identify the source and then coordinate a successful response. And now the next story kind of crosses over into sports. South Africa's tennis sensation has a secret weapon. He loves coffee, says long hair is his strength, and banters with Roger Federer in Afrikaans and is gunning for the #1 spot in the world. SA's Lloyd Harris, now 24 years old, has progressed to a Grand Slam round of 16 for the first time in his career yesterday morning, South African time, in the US Open tennis tournament. After his victory over Moucher, and it seemed to give me enough. Born and bred Cape Townian, Harris is coached by Anthony Harris, no relation, in Cape Town, and then went abroad. Former top 20 Belgian player Xavier Melisse hones his talents. Harris next takes on American Riley Opelka for a place in the quarterfinals. Let's hope he gets that double flat white before the game. Well, that makes the perfect prelude to get into our sporting headlines. Let's start with the Paralympics. South Africa walked away with a total of 7 medals, 4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze, and broke 3 world records in the process at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, which of course concluded this weekend. Teen sensation Ntando Mahlangu claimed the second Paralympic gold for him. That was in the T61 200-meter sprint, winning in a time of 23.59 seconds. And fellow South African Luzanne Coetzee, she also picked up a second medal, winning bronze in the T12 marathon with guide runner Klaus Kempen. Then on to cricket, the Proteas recorded an impressive 67-run Duckworth-Lewis Stern victory over Sri Lanka. That was in their second one-day international match at the R. Ramadasa Stadium in Colombo on Saturday. A sensational 121-run stand from man of the match, Yanaman Malan, helping the Proteas post 283 for 6 in a match that was ultimately reduced to 47 overs per side. Then also a shoo-in for man of the match, Tobias Shamsi. He picked up 5 wickets as the hosts were bowled out for 197 in just 36.4 overs. So South Africa have now levelled that series, one apiece, with a third and final ODI kicking off at 11 a.m. tomorrow. On the women's draw, not the best outing for the Proteas, ladies. They suffered a 5-wicket defeat at the hands of the West Indies women in their third and final WT20 international match at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium yesterday. South Africa posting 80 for 9 in their 20 overs, a very below par batting performance, a crash ultimately. The Windies reaching their target in just 11.5 overs to secure the win and now level that series as we look forward to the ODI series that kicks off tomorrow. On to international football. Bafana Bafana's head coach Hugo Broos, he said there were some positives from his team's 0-0 draw against Zimbabwe in their opening 2022 FIFA World Cup Group G qualifier in Harare on Friday. South Africa picking up 1 point in a match where they definitely had the lion's share of possession and better scoring opportunities than their opponents. Bafana will be back in Group G action later today when they face Ghana in a home fixture at the FNB Stadium, kickoff at 6 p.m. Then on to local rugby. They're at it again. The Bulls and the Sharks will face off in yet another Currie Cup final. That after seeing off fierce competition in the semis this weekend. So at Kings Park on Saturday, the Sharks recorded a hard-fought 28-24 victory over a spirited Griquas side. Then on Friday, looking every part the championship winning side, defending champions, the Bulls were in fine form, thrashing Western Province 48-31 at Loftus Versfeld. The fixture between the Bulls and Sharks will be a repeat of the 2020 Currie Cup final. That match is scheduled to take place in Pretoria on Saturday, and that's at 5 p.m. Well, that's a wrap of your sport for this Monday morning. Let's get one last take on our global weather and, of course, a special focus on our temperatures here in South Africa.
Thank you so much, G. Now, to start off our last report for the weather at 8 o'clock this morning, a yellow level 2 warning for interior winds over the eastern parts of the Northern Cape and the western parts of the Free State and Northwest provinces has been issued. Now, as well as fire danger warnings for these parts and the northwestern interior of the Eastern Cape. Now, this is in the wake of vast raging wildfires in Ventersburg, Virginia, and some parts of the Windberg and Bloemfontein districts that gutted 41 farms and destroyed more than 25,000 hectares of agricultural land since Friday. Now, authorities say the fires have been extinguished, but windy conditions are still threatening reignitions. Our spokesperson for the Department of Tourism and Economic Development, Khotso Tao, says it's tourism month and they believe they can reignite and revive tourism to ensure that travelers and visitors alike receive the best the Free State can offer in the form of its open skies, tranquility, nature, heritage, as well as leisure and adventure. Now, our thoughts are definitely with all the citizens that have been affected by these fires, and we urge all to remain vigilant as well as to report any breakthrough fires during this time to your nearest fire department. And now, as always, as many of you regular viewers know, we love interacting with you on our various social platforms, and a big part of our weather segment has become the sunrise photos we feature daily. And to start off our Monday morning, we are sharing this awesome photo that Gail Montgomery Corpage shared on behalf of her grandson Nick, who lives in Rocklaw Poland. And back on our shores, Joey Peterson from Mshlanga captured yet another stunning sunrise overlooking the Indian Ocean. And then at 7 a.m. we started off in Etenaga or Uitenhage, where Ivina Barons-Kariga shared this stunning collage of photos showing off a double rainbow that fell over the area. And then last but not least, our regular contributor Louise G. Sherry has seriously upped her game in a photography sense. So this is a breathtaking photo that she took from the Vaal Dam, capturing this stunning morning sky reflected in the dam. Oh, these pictures absolutely make my day. I can't thank you enough for everybody near and far that takes the time to share your sunrise photos with us. We truly do love seeing how you start your day and sharing it with the rest of Mzansi, and we can't thank you enough. Now, to take a look at the rest of the temperatures around the country, starting off with Polokwane with a low of 12 and a high of 28 degrees. Mbobela, a low of 15 and a high of 30 degrees. Pretoria, starting off with a low of 15 and then a high of 29 degrees. Kimberley, a low of 4 and a high of 23 degrees Celsius. Bloemfontein, you'll start your day on 4 with a high of 24 degrees. Richards Bay, a low of 16 and a high of 22 with a 62% chance of rain. Pietermaritzburg, you're starting off at 11 and moving up to 17 degrees with 71% chance of rain. Durban, very similar, 72% chance of rain, starting off at 15 and moving up to 20 degrees Celsius. Mthatha, you start your low at 8, moving up to 13 with a higher percentage of rain coming through there too. East London, very similar, a low of 11 and a high of 15 degrees with 76% chance of rain coming through for your day. Cradock, you can expect a cloudy day with a low of 5 and a high of 13 degrees. Berga, very similar with a low of 10 and a high of 16 degrees. George, not too many clouds in the sky, but you can expect some chilly temperatures, a low of 6 and a high of 14 degrees for your day. Cape Town, you're starting off at 8 and then moving up to 14 degrees with 25% chance of rain coming through. Worcester, a little bit more of a sunnier day, but a chilly one with a low of 1 and a high of 14 degrees. Sutherland, you've got an icy -1 degrees to start your day, moving up to 10 degrees Celsius. And last but not least, we've got Uppington with a low of 5 and a high of 21 degrees. Sun can be expected all round. Now that's a wrap up of our final report on the weather. Thank you so much again for the sunrise pictures. You put a smile on my dial and the rest of Mzansi, and I can't thank you enough. It's off to the rest of the magic on this show.
Thank you, Mr. Nature Boy. Now, last week on the Insider SA, Vodacom gave away 10 gig vouchers, and this morning we are thrilled to announce the 10 fortunate winners who went onto the Insider SA social media pages and entered the Vodacom competition by telling us what they think they like the most about the Vodacom Red revamped plans.
Yeah, so a big congratulations to all of our winners. Well done. We're going to get through all 10 of you that are now 10 gigs richer. So congratulations to Maria Romokolo, Sibusiso Dlulisa, Lindalani Mahida, Nomvuzo, Nelasiwe Shenge, Gail Jafta, Lungani Mkize, Hlengiwe Tanya Bengu, Wendy Martinez, and Tabang Motopeng. A very warm round of applause and congratulations. 10 gigs is all yours.
Hope you all enjoy your 10 gigs so you can experience and unlock more with Vodacom. Now remember to check out the new revamped Vodacom Red plans. That includes the Red Flexi, Red Core and Red VIP. Each one of the plans come with benefits and rewards to experience and unlock more, from travel such as flights and accommodation, discounts, entertainment, to premium services and signature experiences. You can find out more, of course, on the website vodacom.co.za. But again, a huge congratulations to all of those 10 winners.
Join Expresso this spring to stand a chance of winning a 4,000 Rand Plascon voucher weekly as we ask how you colour your life. Is it the cherry red in your ride, maybe the burst of new blues from your garden, or the sunsets and seascapes of a favourite getaway? Well, answer our weekly social media question and find the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. Then colour your life with 4,000 Rand paint vouchers to be won all spring on Expresso.
in time. It's time for relationship advice this morning. Now, we're talking about anarchy. Now, anarchy is understood to be a state of disorder due to the non-recognition of authority or controlling systems. But when this approach is applied to relationships, it can actually create a respectful space in which we can craft our relationship commitments to what is right for us. Now, this is the philosophy of relationship anarchy, which we are going to be exploring today.
Yeah, now it's Monday, and that means we're talking all things relationships. And we're asking the question, would you apply relationship anarchy in your own life? Now, clinical psychologist Asha Dulab is joining us via video call to discuss this. And we're taking your questions and comments via our Facebook page. Asha, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Raul. I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, we are so good, and good to chat to you about this, a topic which sparks a bit of debate. But let me first ask you the question of what exactly are the principles of anarchy and how do we apply it to relationship?
Sure. So relationship anarchy is actually a very radical approach to relationships. It's very unique in that it's non-traditional. So basically, we are conditioned to pursue a monogamous relationship where we basically on a relationship escalator, where we sort of meet a person, there's a spark, and then we start dating. And then, of course, you get... you move in and then possibly get married. So that is the traditional approach. But relationship anarchy comes in when someone begins to question the norms and expectations of society at large. So they start questioning the monogamous approach to relationships. And basically they see it as they actually create their own rules and expectations within the relationship. So it's like a custom-made relationship that is spontaneous, that is adventurous, and quite unique to every person that's in the relationship. The core thing is their philosophy or principle is that love is in abundance and that there's no hierarchy in those kind of relationships, that everyone is treated exactly the same.
Asha, this is actually not the first time I heard about this. Obviously, I'm very new into the dating scene as well, but there's so many people that actually goes to this. They're not into the traditional way of dating anymore, where it's like, I'm going to take you home, meet my parents. There's a level of like the man does this and the female does this. It's a bit more of an open-minded approach when it comes to dating. Now, I don't understand it. I think I'm still very old school. You know this. I'm always like questioning, like, why would someone want to lead a non-monogamous lifestyle? Like, that's just me, again, very old school. But why would someone want to lead a non-monogamous lifestyle? And why, maybe again, in your words, is adopting the philosophy of relationship anarchy a way to approach this?
Well, I think people are beginning to question the norms of society and the way things are done. It allows them to give them that possibility of autonomy, of freedom, of really trying to connect to one's core values, needs and relationships, because monogamy is not for everybody. And there's neither a right or wrong approach. It's just about people wanting to find what really works for them. I think the one thing about a relationship anarchy is that there's no labels attached. So, you don't refer to someone as my husband or my best friend. It's just that everyone is on an equal grounding and that you invest your time and energy equally with every person in your life. So basically, you've got a relationship with every individual that is completely committed, completely fair. There's no kind of ranking. There's no hierarchy that my spouse is more important than my best friend. So everybody feels quite invested in the relationship. So I think that many people would feel a sense of autonomy and a sense of freedom to choose, and there's spontaneity. They say that you can you don't have to color in within the lines. You can actually color out of the lines. It's an adventure, and you custom make your relationship. So basically, you can say, I've got a great friend who I'd love to have a child with, and I don't necessarily want to live with that person. And I rather want to be in a romantic relationship with someone else, and that's okay. So it's really something completely new, and that's why I say radical. I think that people are just beginning to open up more and look at these other options of being in a relationship.
Wow. Wow.
A lot to take in, Jamie.
It
I
is
see
a
you
lot.
shaking your
I
head.
have so many
You
questions.
don't agree.
Ooh, ooh, yeah.
Look, Asha, it's always good chatting to you about this. Of course, we're going to continue the conversation. Jamie and I are going to start debating soon by the looks of it, but we are so ready to get more educated on what it means to be monogamous at the same time and also relationship anarchy at the core. We'll continue this conversation in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Really interesting conversation. Let's bring you right back down to earth now. And this is quite an emotional one. I'm going to ask you guys out there who has not been able to see your grandparents for the longest time because of the lockdown. Well, if your grandparents hold a special place in your heart and you'd love to share a message of love and gratitude, now is your chance to have your message shown live on the show and shared. And I know a lot of people really need to identify with those kind of messages. So courtesy of Omar Rusks and National Grandparents Day, that's next Sunday, the 12th of September, we want you to record a video of yourself sharing the best life advice they have given you. I'm sure there is a lot, and our elders are always teeming with wisdom, and we want you to share some of that with us. To make the deal even sweeter, the 3 people who send the best videos, the ones we at least love the most, will each win an Omar Rusks hamper worth 2,000 Rand. But get this, if you win, you will win 1 hamper for yourself and then 1 hamper for your grandparents as well. So it's double the win. So listen up, we aren't expecting Hollywood level production videos. We just want to hear you and your heartfelt story. The more authentic, the better your chances of winning this one, I've got to say. So go and record a video, share it with us on the Omar Rusks competition post on our Expresso Facebook or our Twitter page, and use that important hashtag Omar Grandparents Days. You have until Wednesday to do so, but the sooner you enter, the better. Can't wait to see your entries, and you can get all those terms and conditions, as always, on expressoshow.com, and then you two then can virtually at least be sharing a mutual dip with the people that matter most to you in the world.
Oh, yes, indeed. That looks so yummy. Gee, please save some for me. But, of course, it is Monday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Gospel Monday, and Tracy Carter is here with the band. Of course, on Friday, we asked you on social media what songs Tracy should sing for us. You guys came through with so much, not just a man, gospel medley. I'm going to bless the Lord. Nothing stops me. But kicking us off for Gospel Monday is the gospel medley. So, Tracy and the band, take it away.
Thank you. The Lord is my shepherd. He goes before me. Defender behind me. I won't fear. I'm filled with anointing. Oh, my cup's overflowing. No weapon can
unstoppable. Ooh, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. So take me to that place, Lord, to that secret place where I can be with you. You can make me like you. Wrap me in your arms. Wrap me in your arms. Wrap me in your arms. Take me to that place, Lord, to that secret place where I can be with you. You can make me like you. Wrap me in your arms. Wrap me in your arms. Wrap me in your arms. Ooh, just take me to that place, Lord, to that secret place where I can be with you. You can make me like you. Wrap me in your arms. 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 Wrap me in your arms.
What a voice indeed. Tracy Carter here for Gospel Monday. Don't worry, she's not going anywhere. Still 2 more performances coming your way, so you don't want to go anywhere. But let us know what you thought of that performance as Expresso Morning Show on S3. We'll see you after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. So we're talking all things relationships, and today we are asking you, ooh, this topic is hitting home, but would you apply relationship anarchy in your own life? Now, we're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack this topic. So do weigh in with your questions and your comments on our Facebook page. We'd love to take your comments. We were debating, Asha, in the ad break because we're kind of not sitting on the same fence as this, but I know you do have a question for us.
Yeah, Asha, look, I mean, it's the theory to me sounds sound in a sense, but the practice is quite complicated, I'd imagine. My question to you, though, is when it comes to relationship anarchy, what then is the case when it comes to monogamy? Do they go hand in hand? Is it something that's expressed, or is it a grey area? How does it work?
So very often relationship anarchists are non-monogamous, but they can be monogamous in their relationship as well. They just don't abandon any other friendship, platonic friendship, any other relationship if they actually become part of a couple. So again, you know, so often people feel that they have to abandon their best friend if they are in a relationship. But with relationship anarchy, that doesn't happen. Like I said earlier, there's no hierarchy, so everything is fair. The investment is completely with every individual in their life. So love is not restricted. You can love a few people at the same time.
That's that takeaway from that old school living, because what is the expectation then? At the end of the day, what is the expectation? Do people, you're going into this knowing that you can love as many people. If I connect with you, I'm connecting with you, you're my person. What is the end goal here? Is marriage the end goal for people that is practicing relationship anarchy?
Well, like I say, you know, with relationship anarchy, it's moving away from the traditional monogamous approach where it's the relationship escalates of meeting someone and then, you know, finding the spark and getting married. So they can, of course, you know, get married if that works for them. It's a very unique approach to relationships in that you are constantly custom designing your relationship, and there's a great need to really know yourself well, know your values, and know what you need in a relationship. Of course, people change and evolve all the time. So what it does require, I would imagine, is a very high level of EQ and really sort of having a lot of communication with your partner all the time in order to really navigate through a relationship like this. I wouldn't imagine it to be a very easy relationship, but you know, if you have that constructive communication all the time, reassessing your needs, your values, what you want in a relationship, I think then it could work, but it does require that very depth of EQ and connection, authenticity, courage, bravery, vulnerability in order to navigate this type of relationship. As you know, it's unique and it's not for everybody as well.
Where do you find these partners? Like, is there like a certain site that you go on and be like, is this a certain type of Tinder? Because I'm sure it has to be. You have to be like communicating this beforehand, or do you start communicating this midway through? I still have so much questions for you, Asha.
Look, so many questions, of course, that will be answered. Asha, you're sticking around. Of course, you're going to chat a little bit more. But what's more important is to find out what's important to you. So set your own core values and use them for all your relationships. Now, if you'd like to seek professional help in this or any other area in your life you are facing with difficulties, then you can reach out to Asha Dulab by emailing her on info@ashadulab.com, and you can come through with any general life tips as well as any questions that you may have. And you can follow her on Instagram at Asha Dulab. Don't go anywhere, of course, though. We will continue the conversation. But before we do, here's a stellar performance coming right at you.
Yes, indeed. Tracy Carter has already blown us away, and her phenomenal band. You guys are awesome. You just operate on a different level. They brought us a beautiful medley a little bit earlier. Now, time for some original music, and this one is the one that you chose in our poll. It was the out-and-out winner, and it's got a groove, judging by the sound check. This one's going to blow you away again. This one took 70% of the vote. 57, my bad. I'm going to bless the Lord is what is in store for you right now. Tracy and the band, take us there, please.
Let's go, guys.
shadows. I'm gonna give him praise. No more keeping quiet. Gonna make some holy noise. 'Cause he's been so good and I really should thank him for what he's done. Every word I say is gonna be his praise. That's how we overcome. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna live my life to glorify his great and his holy name. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna bless the Lord because he multiplies and he satisfies everything I've got. But I'm coming out of the shadows. I'm gonna give him praise. No more keeping quiet. Gonna make some holy noise. 'Cause he's been so good and I really should thank him for what he's done. Every word I say is gonna be his praise. That's how we overcome. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna live my life to glorify his great and his holy name. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna bless the Lord because he multiplies and he satisfies everything I've got. Come on, guys, sing it away. Keep my hands raising, gonna live praising, Lord. You're amazing, that is why I'm saying. Keep my hands raising, gonna live praising, Lord. You're amazing, He's glorious. Keep my hands raising, gonna live praising, Lord. You're amazing, that is why I'm saying. Keep my hands raising, gonna live praising, Lord. You're amazing, He's glorious. And I speak to my harvest and call it today. Declare I'm a child of the blessing. The whole earth is mine to rule and to reign. By faith in his word, I'm possessing. I don't think you heard me this morning. I said that I speak to my harvest and call it today. Declare I'm a child of the blessing. The whole earth is mine to rule and to reign. By faith in his word, I'm possessing, possessing, possessing. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna live my life to glorify his great and his holy name. I'm gonna bless the Lord. I'm gonna bless the Lord because he multiplies and he satisfies everything I've got. Let me hear you say, I'm gonna bless the Lord.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Camphor Cream, enriched with camphor and glycerine. Trusted to restore and repair dry skin. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, setting the pace for this week, of course. But I don't know if you guys seen today, like we were all dressed in Levi's. We're going back to the throwback.
Good, Jamie.
Thank
I
you
don't
so
know if
much.
anyone said this, but you're looking good.
I know you used to cut your 501s back in the day. You don't need to do it anymore because they have partnered with Woolworths right now. They're bringing this iconic brands together, all about sustainability, all about making sure that we're looking good and we're bringing back the classics that we also love.
So true, and I'm so excited because literally when I speak about this brand, it's all about nostalgia and it brings back so many memories. And this is why I'm reminding you at home that you can find your perfect pair from the inventor of the timeless blue jeans. Now, Levi's men's and women's jeanswear is now available at selected Woolworths stores. That's including Canal Walk, Clearwater Mall, and Gateway, with more Woolies stores stocking Levi's and right throughout September. You can also shop it online or on the Woolies app, and maybe, just maybe, you'll look as good as Jamie Lee Don.
Yay! Talking about, all things new, today is a new day for me because I didn't know that we even celebrated
Not just a new day, it's a huge day.
International Bacon Day, everybody. So we asked on social media today, how do you like your bacon? Are you a crispy kind? Do you like
How
to put
do
it in
you
the
like
sauce?
your bacon, Jamie?
I don't know. I like just bacon anything in my mouth. Like with a slice of fresh white bread with a little bit of butter on. Perfect, nice and crispy, but a sauce. Just it is what it is.
Let's find out what Nancy has to say and how they love their bacon. We've got T or Thologelo Makofane. International Bacon Day says, I eat bacon with bread, eggs, and cucumbers.
Oh, yeah, bougie.
Never heard about
you like
that.
a bougie.
I like that, okay.
Cindy Stratum says, crispy bacon dipped in tomato
that
sauce.
dippin'.
Look at that naughty face that you're giving us. Like, yeah,
Bit of a laugh then. Klein Elsie says, I eat with my bread, cheese, and eggs. Keeping it classic, International Bacon Day is trending on the show this morning. Of course, guys, we were asking you how you like your bacon. And if you're looking for more inspiration for bacon, then head to the kitchen.
Wow.
Fire up the griddle, fire up the braai. It's time for a little midweek feast. Yes, you can do it. You are allowed to. You can braai in the middle of the weekend with our easy braai rump steak rolls. We have got you set, so we want you to fire up those weeknight dinners and feed the whole gang with everyone's braai favorites. And with these easy braai, and I stress easy braai, seasoned rump steak rolls, you can start the fire at 6 and then start enjoying the deliciousness by 7. My friend, magical. This is magic. This is slightly different, and I'm so glad we're doing this.
Okay.
Because you've taught me how to cook a steak, okay? But that's not a marinated steak.
Right.
Is it different?
It is different.
It is different.
It is different. Well, there's two things that are different about these steaks. The first thing is they're a little thinner than normal, and then the fact that they've been marinated. So what happens is the cooking time is just so quick, which is great for during the week.
Because marinated, obviously you've got the flavor, which is great, but it's also going to soften the meat fibers as well.
Right.
And I think we're talking about steak rolls specifically here because these are ideal for that purpose. Slightly thinner, which, otherwise a steak roll, you need to slice up a thicker steak to,
And then you're still fighting through the roll, fighting the steak. This is perfect. This is perfect, okay?
Okay, so what is it marinated in
It's
and
got
why are we
a whole
so
lot of
excited?
spices in there. And the spices, again, add seasoning, plus also tenderize the meat while it's in there. And the longer it actually sits in this little baggies, the better.
The better, okay.
So, and it's been in the bag, so by the time you take it home, it's good to go. So, on the braai's bit, I love these on the braai. They cook up so quickly, and the smell is amazing. But I mean, if you can't braai, like
Pan is
can't braai,
fine, yo. Pan is fine.
Pan is fine.
I am still waging a war between a braai and a pan in terms of the best steak I can cook. Because either,
I feel you. I feel it, because sometimes you can
on a pan, you can control the situation. So you can get that crust and you can just nail it, So a pan and oven worked together really works well.
Especially with the thicker cuts?
Yeah, with the thicker cuts. So,
I feel you.
But there's nothing quite like that smokiness from the braai, and I would imagine with this flavor profile, you enhance that, boost that with the smoky flavors of a braai. Wow,
you're done.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Crazy
okay.
good.
Steak's gonna go. I'm gonna ask you to whip up a slaw for me.
Okay,
You've
I'm
got
ready.
some cabbage, some fennel, and some apple.
Okay, am I slicing the
You
apple?
can slice the apple, or you can cube it. It's G's slaw, so you can make it however you want to. And then the dressing's pretty simple, so I'll get us some of the ingredients together. Olive oil, a little bit of mustard.
And a slaw is great, especially, we talk about this all the time. You and I were kind of identifying that last week. You know, the more fatty something is, having a slaw or a pickle or something like that just to help cut through that fat really does
make such a difference.
All the way, yeah.
Pepper and salt. Okay, so I've got Dijon mustard in here, and then I've got a little bit of honey. So here comes the acid, which is going to be white wine vinegar. That's going to go in. And I like quite acidic when it comes to the slaws. That's delicious. That's good. That's good. Okay, then as soon as you're done, you can add your other ingredients to it. So quick and easy. Yeah, so these minute steaks, they are absolute. I call them minute steaks because I believe they can cook in a minute.
Yeah.
But these beautiful marinated rump steaks are lifesavers. Like just when you want a steak, but you don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of like resting your steak. Taking it out the fridge before you cook it and then resting it and the whole checking the temperature. These are amazing.
I'm just getting my hands in there to mix that through. I have sanitized and resanitized.
Rule is if it doesn't lift from the pan, leave it. It's still busy doing its thing. As soon as it's done charring, get the nice lines, it'll come up by itself. So just leave it.
So it's still got to, in its way, it's still got to form that layer, that crust.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so to that, we're going to do the braai relish. Okay,
layers and layers of love, hey?
Here's my naughty little snack that I do at home when I sit down, watch some TV. The Woolies plain salted nacho chips.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
mozzarella, microwave. Don't even bother. Don't put the oven on.
How long? 30 seconds. 30
just to melt the cheese, and you top it with this.
Wok.
This, I mean, it's naughty.
Beautiful.
But it's good. It's good. Okay.
We could almost have standalone meals with every individual thing that we've created.
You can.
All singing together in one crescendo in our beautiful, beautiful thing. Is this sauce going with my...
That's going to go with your slaw. So I'm going to heat up the braai relish. Then what I've done is I've charred some corn, and I've toasted some of the Portuguese rolls already.
Oh,
or the corn.
I love that.
We're just going all out today. We've heated some of the Woolies ready-made cheese sauce. Because it's Monday, we're going to start the week off on a super high note.
Yeah.
So you did have some cheese sauce.
That's true. Set the tone, and then you can just freewheel. You can coast. Culinary coast all the way down to the next weekend.
Absolutely. So, I mean, why stop the festivities from the weekend? Just keep on going.
100%.
Just keep on going.
Every week's a long weekend. Every week, okay?
It's just what you make of it.
I'm done with...
You're done.
I'm done with working today. I'm walking out of here.
Okay, so...
Right.
How's that steak? How's that steak?
How's that? Look at that. And you can see it's still got a tenderness.
There we go. So once I turn it over, I just give it about 30 seconds. I don't want to cook it anymore.
Okay.
So I'm not going to
You
count
just want the griddle lines.
Yeah, I just want those griddle lines on the one side. There's enough heat to keep on cooking it through. What else do I still need? Okay, let's plate up this guy. Okay, toasted Portuguese rolls. Toast your rolls, eh? Don't play.
Yeah.
Always toasted.
I know you've said that on many occasions.
A little bit of that braai
I suppose
relish.
that also the toasting kind of gives it a bit of backbone to support the sauce. Otherwise, you're just going to get a mushy blah, blah.
No one likes a mushy blah, blah.
Blah. Yeah, exactly. I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to give you one of Kelly's.
Kelly. I would actually call Kelly into the kitchen, but I know she's so shy, she won't.
You could call her, but you know what she'll do? That's what she'll do.
So just give me a... Kelly. We love Kelly so much. Okay.
It's amazing.
Bun's going on. Then, Graham, the slaw. Well done.
Okay, it's a chunky slaw, eh? So...
Absolutely, it has to be chunky. Then, some of this cheese sauce that's bubbling away.
Yay! If you want to find this, you can find... I like the way you're putting the cheese sauce on everything.
You must.
At that.
You must.
You're such a chef sometimes. Just when I think you're like my mate who can cook well, then you go and do something chefy. Hey? You're like such a chef. Look at that.
So you go pop into Woolies. It's your one-stop destination for everything braai, from free-range meat to the amazing restaurant-grade charcoal to the perfectly done sides that are done for you.
Yeah.
That's where you go.
Environmentally friendly firelighters even.
No, really. It's so amazing.
I'm not even kidding. Absolutely beautiful. You can find this recipe for this midweek braai sensation on woolworths.co.za. And if you missed any of the steps at arriving at this beautiful, beautiful creation, this mix of flavors, check this out.
Breakfast. Spectacular.
Get an insurance quote for your home or car and stand a chance to win one of 8 Samsung Galaxy S21 phones plus 100 gigs of Standard Bank mobile data for a year. To enter, SMS the keyword motor to 31492 to get a call back and quote, and you could be a winner.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, you beautiful souls. Welcome back, Mzansi. And what a show it's been this morning. And without further ado, we're keeping the magic going. Now, singer and songwriter is back to perform yet another original track. This one's called Not Just a Man, and it's exclusive. It's the first time we're hearing it. It's released today, and you can download it on Tracy's socials as well and check it out. But without further ado, to send this show to another level, here it is. Take it away. The stage is all yours.
People perplexed question his existence, the reasons why and how he came. Could his coming be true? But then this would mean the consequence they'd face eternally. So they say he was just a man. Then why was he so different? They said he was just a man. Then what am I feeling? If he was just a man, then why did they love him and serve him to the end? If he was just a oh, but Mary said he touched her in a way that no one could. She said he told her all the things that would be and is to come. What have we done? Unto this holy Lamb of God, rejected and despised, and as they hung him on that cross, the love grew in his eyes. So how can it be this that they say when they see the price? Yes, he paid. Still they say he was just a man. Then why was he so different? If he was just a man, then what am I feeling? If he was just a man, then why did they love him and serve him to the end? If he was just a man, no, he was God himself on earth. He is the last, he was the first. I can't deny, not if I try. No, he was God himself on earth. He is the last, and he's still the first. I can't deny, not if I tried. No, he's not just a man. He is the great Jehovah. No, he is not just a man, he is the risen Savior. No, he's not just a man, and that's why I love him, and I'll serve him to the end, 'cause he's not just a man, no, he's the great
Here's to the season of sunny breakfasts, healthy lunch breaks in the great outdoors, and romantic sunset dinners. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.